the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. We're here live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. If you're over on Twitch, hit that follow button. We are also able to, or you're also able to listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and all past broadcasts about a week afterwards. So we try to incentivize you. If you like the show, come and watch it live either on YouTube /30NSG or over on Twitch 30N Still Gaming. Appreciate it very much. Sarge just left us, so it's just me now. What's going on, chat? How you guys doing? Good evening. Yeah, Art Raiders. We're going to talk a lot about on today's show. We're going to talk a lot about Bungie, the other company. We're going to talk about Bungie. We're going to talk about Xbox, Microsoft. We're going to talk about Helldivers a little bit. We're going to talk about Marvel Rivals. We're going to talk about what's this other one right here? Marathon, just in general, Marathon. We're going to talk about Battlefield 6. We're also going to talk about AI. It's getting scary, Sarge. It's getting scary with the AI stuff. Talk about Hogwarts Legacy 2, and we're also going to talk about Darth Vader from Fortnite with SAG-AFTRA and whatnot. But so if you guys like it, make sure you hit that like button down below. Appreciate it. What's going on, Sarge? We missed last week. How you been?
I mean, the amount of time that's passed, it almost just feels like just 1 week. That's just
it was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks.
I know.
I totally forgot we missed last week. So when I looked through my catalog each week, I'm like, something looks off, and because obviously it's like 4 morning shows and then GXG, and GXG was missing, but I also missed a couple streams. So the time I missed in between, I only had like 4 streams between 1 week and the other. So I was like, time gap. I looked at like the dates and it was like, wait a minute, something's off. There's like a week missing.
Well, you're doing the money pit thing, so
I am. Today we got brand new gutters. So 2 weeks.
Are they the ones with the little covers on the top?
No, there's no trees around us like that could fall in, so they're just open.
You know, I looked at those and I thought about it. But you know what happens when you have screens like that allow just the water in but nothing else? Is they get full of dirt and then they don't take the water in, and then the water just runs off the top of the house anyway.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the rank up.
The whole reason for a screen on top of the gutter is so you don't have to clean out your gutters of leaves
as much.
Right, but if you put a screen on the top of your gutter,
they just lay on top,
and it stops the water from going in there anyway
without having gutters. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I mean, they sell the hose that looks like this. That's all you need. That's all you need. It's an attachment that goes on the hose. It just
you just go up there,
reach up, and you clear out the gutter.
Yeah,
not a big deal.
Oh, it's funny because the guy, he put the extension piece on the gutter, and he made it like no, this is no exaggeration. It was like 6 feet long, right? So it came off the house.
But does it have an incline inside, or is he just
it's inclined, but it had like 6 feet out, and I went, I said, you can't do that. Why? I go, because people cut the grass and you're taking 6 feet.
You're talking about at the very end, at the end of the
very end.
Yeah,
extension piece, 6 feet long.
Because he doesn't want it near the house because it might ruin the foundation.
Yeah, but I was like, that's going to get destroyed in about 3 seconds when the lawn guys come. They're like, and that's it. They won't look.
They don't care.
They're just like, I wasn't there last week. So and they move on. So I was like, you gotta shorten that. So
I'm waiting for the day for the lawn service guys to show up, and the guy just comes out. He just grabs a giant Roomba and throws it on the lawn, and then walks away.
They're already electronic go karts.
No, I know, but the big version,
Lawnmowers.
like a big version.
Yeah, big version of the lawnmower. Yeah.
You see, I'm getting shorter. I'm shorter. My chair broke finally, bro.
You can pull the camera down to make you look like you're tall again.
Like it's going shorter and shorter.
The gasket's probably broke.
Yeah.
The gasket's probably broke in your chair.
And I'm not even that big of a fat ass anymore. Like the cushions aren't even ripped yet.
Your cushion.
The cushions aren't ripped yet, but the gasket's done.
The last 2 years has been going, just been screaming, and now it's it broke the gasket inside the thing. What's going on, John?
Is that John that changed his name 3 times?
Yeah, it's 30. I think that's what he had. 30 NS.
Yeah, 30. Okay, I want to make sure it's the same John.
Yeah. All right, Sarge. So let's it's been a while. I could get back it's been 2 weeks. I gotta get back into the swing of things. Let's get to where is it? What we've been playing. We'll do the shorter version. All right, Sarge. Been 2 weeks. What have you been playing?
Well, I mean, I was under the influence of tequila when I purchased Roadcraft because I thought it was going to be fun.
I did not twist your arm. I didn't ask you. I just bought the game and played it because I decided I'm going to be interested in it. So I bought it. Good price, $40-$50. I played it the first night. Was it the first night? Yeah, it was the first night. No, second night. It was the second night. It was the first night.
You went to New Zealand to play it.
I went to New Zealand. That's how dedicated I am to play games. I flew to New Zealand, and all of a sudden, Aku was in, and then all of a sudden he was like, "I saw Sarge." I was like, "No, you didn't see Sarge." Like, let's go, let's do this. Where you need the dirt.
I still can't figure out how to unlock the second version of the dump truck. I'm on the map that we were on. I'm trying to figure out what to do on that map by myself to try to unlock the damn truck. I don't know what it is about it. I'm sure I won't play it for very long, but I have a moral imperative to finish a job. Like I can't look at stuff that's broken, and I have to fix it.
I have to fix
it.
The whole time playing SnowRunners, every time you play SnowRunners, like, the fuck's wrong with these roads? Can you fix the roads?
And why do you think I'm the fucking
now
sand
you
truck
have a
the
game
whole
that you
time?
can fix roads. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to play it. I don't know.
No, I said I don't know if I'll play it very long.
Oh, you'll get 40 to 60 hours out of it easy.
Well, I think the roads are priority, but I think the actual asphalt thing is pointless. It doesn't seem like any reason why I want to spend any more time past dropping down sand and evening.
As far as the game goes, I don't know if there's any benefits of actually making the asphalt and then smooth it out, then just put sand down so the trucks don't crash.
I mean, if they're gonna fuck with me like that, then they have to sell the truck that picks up the rocks that are caught in the sand.
Oh, you're like a roller, like that picks up the rocks?
No, like invent a stupid truck that you drive over the ground and it picks up all the loose rocks.
Well, so they have that for farming.
They don't stand that.
It smushes it into the ground further.
Well, that's what I mean, because those stupid rocks end up showing up, and when you pave the road, they show up as a little mark in the road.
Krabsy says, I wonder if you get further in the game if you unlock a tunneling machine, because that would be cool. That'd be cool.
Well, there's
drill through a mountain, and then you got a machine that builds the tunnel around you.
That's Minecraft.
Nah, this is cooler.
It'd be Minecraft 2 or something.
Minecraft. I wish there was a machine you could burrow through the actual ground.
Yeah, there is. It's called
creative mode. Creative mode. Now, I want a vehicle. I want to control a vehicle going through. That would be cool, Krebsy. If you got to operate I'll tell you what, the cabling one is really cool. Like it's definitely not made for comfort, right? Like the cabling one. Like I went into the first cab. I said this on the stream yesterday when I first got it, unlocked it. I looked inside in first person mode. You could smell the leather. Like you could smell like the beat up leather. you can smell the moisture of like sweat and BO. You know what I mean? Like that's like the mustiness that was in there. That's how well the inside of these things looked. Very, very, very detailed. That's something that this game doesn't get a lot of respect for. Like the attention to detail. Like when you're playing, if you're just watching, you don't really feel it. But when you're driving the trucks and you have sand in the truck or you sand out of the truck, they respond differently. When you're going through the mud, it responds differently. If you have weight or a pipe in the back of the thing, like everything is very well done. Like if they could take the physics of this and like implement it to a actual racing car game or Grand Theft Auto, right? Grand Theft Auto is fun when you drive certain vehicles because you could feel the weight as you're doing it, right? When I play like Forza or I play certain games, sometimes the games just don't feel like the car has weight. It just feels like it's an entity on the screen.
Well, there's a fine line between like realism and gameplay mechanics that make it fun. If it's too tedious, then you don't want to play it.
Right.
Like I'd be okay with like you telling me how to do a job and like you have to bring materials to a thing like it does in this one. Like when you accomplish the basic task, it builds the crane or it fixes the building. Like that kind of thing is fine. Like I wouldn't mind to be like building a city, like building a town. Like you're the contractor and you got to build shit. Right.
Slow Scope says 7-month membership. Appreciate that. Sandman's dropping loads on the wrong roads.
No such thing. No such thing. They all need.
Not
They
that
all.
game.
They
all
all
the
need
roads
loads.
need repairs.
Everything.
Yeah, all of them need roads.
They could just say it's Costa Rica and I'd be okay with it, but they keep saying like it's some other place. Like it's Costa Rica, man.
Yeah.
Like
I think the game is done.
It's done very well, man.
Yeah, no, a lot of people look at it like I thought I did. I thought I wasn't gonna like it because there was no gas, right? Like there's no gas meter.
It's too. I can already see why they didn't.
And there's no night. There's no nighttime either.
Oh, there's late afternoon. You don't.
Yeah, but
work
there's
at
never
night.
a nighttime. It's just like
but
we're on
you
the
don't
wrong
work at
hemisphere of the planet, and the sun never goes down. It gets close, but then it rises again.
You don't work at night.
I get it.
No jobs work at night.
No, I get it.
Paid. You get paid extra.
Right, I get that, but you could do the infrastructure stuff at night. You know what I mean? Like planning your routes and stuff like that at night. I don't know. I thought I wasn't gonna like that, but I actually do like that they don't have gas because if they put the gas in this particular game, it would be more tedious and more. It would make me want to quit sooner. Right, the gas. When you're not thinking about the gas, you could just do your job. Where if you were out and all of a sudden let's say you're doing a job and you need to make $5,000, but you have like 5 vehicles, you're paying for gas, but now you're not completing the task. You flip over, you have to buy another car to get your car out. You spend money on that. Now you have to put gas in there, but you're out of money. It would be a dead moment in the game where you can't recover. You can't get the gas in your car because you're out of cash, and you can't do the job because you're out of cash, right? That's why they got rid of the gas. You see what I'm saying?
Probably, but you still didn't even need to do that. You could just turn it. You should be able to just turn it on and off for difficulty for yourself.
Well, a lot of people are asking for a hard mode. They're asking for a survival mode.
I mean, if you don't understand that game, it is hard mode.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
if you don't understand, like I have flipped or drowned a car for no reason at all. Like this looks like a puddle and it's a giant Mariana Trench, and the car goes completely in the water. Like it's only like this.
So what I liked yesterday, we were in one map. I don't know the name of the map, but the second map that we played, and there was this giant gorge ripped out from the landslide, mudslide or whatever. And instead of just making a road across like the marshland, we decided to fill in a giant football field
50-foot
size
crevice.
Yeah,
50-foot crevice.
right?
Fill it in.
And we filled it up. Like we filled it up. So like the game perspective in my head is going, how much is each sand grain like taking on the processing power of the actual game, and how many things that we dump of sand on the stuff. And we talked about it last night. Maybe the asphalt and smoothing out the road takes away the sand and makes it a hard object. You know, it's like one object.
So
it then
the frame rate improves if you asphalt the road.
If you asphalt the road, your frame rate improves. I don't know if that's
it better not be like that. It better not be like that.
There's a lot of sand, man.
I think it's humorous that if you're in range of the quarry, you can just keep reloading. You get the sand from God.
Yeah, it's the circumference of God's hand just throwing sand in the back of your truck.
I mean, it's interesting because if you need to quickly like fix up an area around where the quarry is, you can. Because if let's say you're playing 4-player if you have 4 people that actually want to play this game, right? One person has the dozer, and 3 people just dump in the sand, man. You can road out and fill in any kind of problem in like 10 minutes. But when you're doing it by yourself and you have to switch vehicles, it's just like anything else. The time gating is incredible because it'll take you 2 hours, right? Like I learned the hard way where I thought I was in your map and it was going to save the game. And I was trying to help you out. And instead I realized I played 6 hours and it's not in your map. It's in my map.
Right. So this is the gorge that we're filling up over here, right? I have the shitty truck. You have the Mac Daddy making Fast and Furious slide outs to turn around.
Yeah, the rusty truck's garbage, bro.
Well, it is what it is, man. That's what I got.
Even looking at it makes me angry. You need the better truck. You got to have the better truck.
Oh, computer's struggling.
Is somebody trying to cut you off already?
No, I was trying to bring up the quality so people could see better, right? So I'm like throwing myself.
It should allow you to do multiple things that you don't think you can do. Like we filled in the gorge, right? And then once it's filled in, it should allow you to build a bridge there.
Well, you could actually build a bridge anywhere you want. The reason we couldn't build a bridge is we didn't have concrete, so that's why we had to fill it in.
Oh, is there a concrete?
You can actually build a bridge.
Truck?
Yeah,
is there a concrete truck?
Well, you have to find concrete or find supplies. So you could build a wooden bridge. You could build a concrete bridge. You can build a iron steel bridge. You just have to have the supplies. We didn't have the supplies, so that's why we did the dirt.
Okay. I mean, I'm torn. Like as soon as this show's over, I think I might have to punch in.
I'm down. We can play
because I just want to. I gotta finish. I gotta finish the actual missions in my map in order to unlock the goddamn truck because I can't drive. I can't drive that piece of shit right there on the screen. I can't drive that anymore.
You want me to help you in your game so you can unlock stuff? I could do that.
I mean, if you don't have anything else to do after the show,
yeah, we'll play that. Yeah. So, any other games that you've been playing?
By the way, we need 3 hours, bro. We need 3 hours for this show.
3 hours.
There's too much shit going on right now.
I don't think there's that much shit going on.
There's a lot of shit going on, bro. A lot of shit to talk about. There's people in chat right now. They're like this. They're waiting to talk. They're waiting for us to give the green light for them to explode because that's how much bullshit is going on right now in the gaming world.
Chad, I have a question for you. Right, Sarge will never do this, but would you like a morning show with me and Sarge? Just 1 hour a day of us just bullshitting.
Good Lord.
Just 1 hour. 11 to 12. Does that give you enough time to get up and get acclimated?
Put my face on?
Yeah. 1 hour in the morning. I do my regular morning show, and then we get 1 hour of Sarge. Kingard says, of course. There you go.
Kingard, did you come out with the video? I was looking for your stuff, man. I thought you had a video coming out. Did I miss it?
Oh, did you see?
Did you have a video that came out recently? Because I was looking for a daily dose of you, and I didn't know if the new video came out yet because you mentioned it a couple weeks back.
He's got a video of Doom that he did. He played Doom, the new Doom, and played a little bit of that. That's on his second channel.
Finish up on next. Okay, so it's coming up soon. I got you. Oh, we can go. Okay, well, we don't have to spend too much time on what I've been playing. Really simple. Ready? Roadcraft I thought was great. Right? I bought it because I was 3 tequilas in, and I came home and I saw you play it, and I'm like, eventually, your son's gonna want to play it. We want to play multiplayer. It's fine, right? Dune 2 Spice Wars came off of Game Pass, so I can't play it anymore on the Xbox. But I remember that in a drunken state, I bought it again on PC, so I'm playing it again on PC. I got it on sale. I only buy stuff on sale. When I'm drunk, I don't buy anything full price. 0 things full price. If it's not on sale, I don't get it. A matter of fact, as the asterisk to this statement, currently before the show started, I bought Helldivers 2 because it was on sale. Because it's on sale,
guys. Looks like there's going to be a Helldivers stream coming up.
Yeah, I figured I need some shooty stuff. And we almost bought Space Marine 2 today.
We did. We were having a conversation about it,
but we talked ourselves out of it because I'm thinking we should get it on PC. I really think we should get it on PC.
If we get it on PC, you want to do the 10-man, 12-man raid stuff.
It's not just because of the 10-man mod. That's not the only reason.
That's the
I
reason
would
for you.
I would play it. I would play it on console with you if you want to play it. The only thing is that I think that the mod support for that game is supposed to be phenomenal once the game fully releases. And I'm talking about the other mods in the game.
Right.
Like you could pick the different factions that you can pick. It just makes the guys look cooler. I want to play it. I want to play.
My problem is I'm okay with the sale. The sale's going to happen. It's already been on sale 3 times: December, March, and May. It was on sale, right? It was on 20%, then it went down to 38%. Now it's at 40%. Okay, it'll go on sale again before the end of the year.
It will.
It'll go on sale. They go on sale. Warhammer stuff goes on sale all the time. Okay, my problem is if I buy it on PC, I can play it off stream, no problem. I have no problem playing PC games off stream. The problem is if I want to play that game on stream while I'm streaming on the computer, it struggles, right? It says recommended for the recommended is like 3070. I have a 3060. Okay. Obviously the minimum is like a 1080 or whatever it is.
There's zero rush.
No, I know.
Get this game.
That's
PC,
what I'm saying though.
Get your PC and then we'll play. Like this is not like a desperation move.
There's so many games.
Is there something we're missing right now that?
Well, there's other games that are coming out. Well, there's other games coming out on PC that I would love to play.
Games all the time coming
out.
Out, bro.
I know. I'm still playing Marvel
I'm
Rivals.
only paying attention to like 15% of them, and I'm already overwhelmed. If I was paying attention to all this other stuff, it'd be insane.
Yeah, I'm playing Marvel Rivals. I'm playing Towerborn. I'm playing 33 Immortals. I jumped back. I downloaded the first Ascended again to see because Eclipse said the grind was much better. So I was like, let me go back over there. So there's a lot of games. I don't need to play Space Marines 2. The Horde mode's coming out at the end of June. Great. The game released in September. And once they're done putting the rest of the game into Space Marines 2, I'll jump back in. The RTS boys would like it. Manor Lords has me hooked currently. Manor Lords. Manor Lords, is that the game where you're like it's like a city builder? Am I thinking of the right one? Like you're building, or is that something else?
No, Manor Lords is the medieval one.
Oh, the medieval one. Right. Yeah, there's so many games that you could play right now. I don't need to buy a brand new one.
I can't find my stat sheet for what card I have. I don't remember the card.
Oh, that's another one. The Soul Frame. I played the beta of that real quick.
Remember when we thought that? Remember when we lost track and field? I couldn't figure out who has it.
Yeah,
I just said fuck it, and so I bought it.
You bought track and field again?
Yeah, I found track and field that works.
How much you pay for it?
I paid
with inflation, Sarge. Tell me with inflation.
No, it was like $16 or $17. That's all.
Yeah. I literally just saw a video of track and field the other day. And then I saw Summer Olympics and I was like, that was good times. Summer Olympics was a good time. Remember when we used to have the tournaments? We used to have the Olympics with everyone in the neighborhood.
Yeah, we used to have all the people over the house.
Yeah.
we had the Olympics in the house.
So good.
When it rained, we couldn't go outside. We would play the Olympic games.
Yeah, everyone come over and everyone would
track and field.
Pick a region, pick a country. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we would have a competition. Fantastic.
There's so many games coming out, bro. And I don't care what's at this point. I'll be honest with you. I don't even care what's delayed anymore. I don't give a shit. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, let's go on to the top stories because there is a lot of stories to talk about. A lot of small stories, but then a couple stories are like major stories that we could talk like 30, 40 minutes about for each one. So let's head on over to top stories. All right, the first story I want to talk about, Sarge, is we're going to start with Xbox. Okay, talk about there's so many games, there's so many games, and then they're adding. I don't want to say they're crap games, but they're adding retro games, right? They're taking the Activision catalog that they have that they purchased $69 billion for. This is not making their money back for them, but they're taking like Pitfall, Fish Derby, Pitfall 2, Boxing. There's like 50 games, and they're going to add 50 more down the road where you can play all these games on Game Pass. Okay. And the cool part about this is not only are they the same games that you played back in the day, we were preserving them and you can play them, but they also added like a tournament type of style to a lot of these games, so you can compete like you did in the arcade. You know, when you saw the top score type of stuff, and then you came into the thing, you're like, God damn it, JRG got the top spot, so now I have to beat him, like type of thing. That's what happens with this now, right? So they're going to have little tournaments and things that happen. So they have retro classic games coming to Xbox Game Pass, PC game updates, and more. So it says here that they have the 80s, 90s, including beloved Commando, Grand Prix, Kaboom, Mech Warrior 2, 31st Century Combat, and Pitfall. Initiative is step to commit to the game's preservations and backwards compatibility, allowing players to experience many timelines of games and modern devices. So you can see somewhat of all the stuff.
Ooh, Atlantis 2.
Yeah, I'm not going back to play baseball. You know what I mean?
You can't do it. Do you know that? Do you know how
Dragster? Dragster. I remember Dragster.
Bro. Dragster on the Atari. Okay. Do you realize the competitiveness for that stupid game?
Yeah.
Back in 1984 or 83, right? The timing you had to have on that game, people were fighting it out for like 2/200ths of a second, yelling at a TV screen.
Yep.
Right. Because it was all about reaction time. The whole
I didn't even see Barnstormer. Dude, if they have Maze Craze, I'm all about it. I'll play that.
Cosmic Arc was about reaction time. What was the other? What's a Freeway is just a fuck game.
I'm sorry.
Demon Attack.
Do you see the bottom? Bro. Is the bottom corner? Does that say Police Quest? Does that say Police Quest? The bottom corner there?
There's no Police Quest for the Atari.
Police? What's that? Police what? Does that say Quest?
I don't know.
It is. It's Police Quest. Oh, dude.
Well, like from the PC days, from the Sierra days?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta type
King's
in.
Quest,
you gotta type
Quest.
in. Pull over, officer. I forgot my ID. You fail. Reload. I forgot my gun at the station. You fail. Reload.
Put floppy 12 in. Floppy 12. You went through a door. Put floppy 10.
People have no idea that in those typing games where you have to pick up your badge, you have to type everything, right?
Yeah, type
pick up your badge,
everything.
pick up your badge, pick up like you be in the game for like an hour and a half, and you're trying to do one quest in the game, and because you forgot something 20 minutes ago, you fail. And so you have to reload, and you have to play the 20 minutes again. It's maddening.
I just saw Fishing Derby.
Fishing Derby.
Fishing Derby.
Competitive. We were very competitive with that.
Very competitive about that goddamn shark, man. That shark used to always steal it right at the end. It would turn around and go, whoop, 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 and I was like, you son of a.
Demon Attack's a classic. I would like to see a remaster of Demon Attack.
Chopper
in today's graphics, Demon Attack would be great, bro. With actual demons. Are you serious?
You know what's crazy? Just looking at this. Now, I know I'm going down nostalgia road here, okay? But in my head, I can see these like I played them yesterday. Like I could visually see all of these games that I played like I played them yesterday.
I like how they mixed in like the 8-bit with some of this crap.
Yeah, no, it's 80s and 90s. Yeah.
Chopper Command was awesome.
That's what I said. That's why I said Chopper Command's in there.
Yeah, Chopper Command was awesome.
Oh, dude, Checkers.
Do you remember the helicopter game on the Sega Genesis? I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. You're the
Desert
helicopter.
Desert.
It was a 3/4 view.
Desert. I want to say it's Desert Storm, but that's the war.
It was
it called the same
3/4 view, and you had to go
you
around.
You're an Apache.
You're Apache helicopter. Yeah,
right. And you had machine guns, rockets, and the giant missile.
You had little guys that you would drop off. And
you got to pick them up. What the fuck was it called? Was it Desert Storm? I think it was Desert Storm.
I think it was Desert Storm
because there was a sequel, Desert Strike. I remember Desert Strike. There was like 2 or 3 of the games they had released. It was really good. It was really good, and it was really fucking hard, bro. Because the enemy would have like the AAA guns. And there's only so many health boxes on the map. And so after a while, same thing, you'd be playing for like an hour and a half and you got to kill this base and you realize that you don't have enough heals to fucking win. So you have to start the map over again in order to not use the health until the end.
Well, this is out now, right? This is out now.
I'm interested now. Is this game?
When we come next week, we're like, what did you play?
Oh,
we have the whole show. I played this for 10 seconds. I played this for 30.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's about 12 seconds. 12 seconds.
A lot of this stuff I can't do.
Can you scroll it down, or is this a still
that's
frame?
it. That's a picture. Yeah, it's a picture.
Oh, it's a still frame.
Yeah. I could probably turn on my Xbox and see.
No big deal.
So what's really cool about this, though, with Retro Classic Game Pass members can also expect seamless gaming experience across console, PC, and also supported devices like cloud gaming, whether you're playing on Xbox, Xbox app, PC, streaming unsupported on LG, Samsung smart TVs, Amazon Fire Stick TV devices, MetaQuest headsets. You can play these anywhere, right? And they're not gonna hurt anything. Like the entire catalog is like less than Call of Duty itself. You know what I mean?
Well, for taking out all the bullshit out of gaming just for a moment, from the time that video game was in the inception of a video game back in like 1980 or 79 when they first did Pong, all the way up to now, just the jumps in technology and what we're able to do in that kind of art form for entertainment purposes. Whereas for like 30 years, from the time it started, for maybe like 20, 25 years, nobody gave a shit, right? Only nerds played it. No one cared about video games. You're a fucking tool. Like, that's all we heard. And then for some strange reason, in 1988 or 89, when Nintendo came out, all of a sudden everybody started joining the bandwagon. And then when graphics started getting good and the long play stories came out, a good percentage of the population was playing fucking video games, bro.
This is it right here.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Desert Strike.
Desert Strike. Okay.
Desert Strike. Yep. I love it. You're trying to blow up the village. Look at those explosions. Amazing back then.
It was amazing.
And I'm being dead serious.
It
Watch
was
the explosion, chat. Watch the explosion. Watch.
You don't want to waste your missiles, so use the machine gun. I remember all the
little dot.
Yeah.
Look at that. That was a fantastic explosions. Michael Bay was
right, and
was
if you
birthed because of this.
Oh, you shot the fuel. What the fuck's wrong with this guy? That's the whole point of shooting the buildings. The hidden items are inside the buildings. The fucker shot the fuel. That's worse than the gauntlet guy shooting the food. It's the same shit.
Oh yeah, this is good. You would save it. You have to save the guy. Yeah, pick him up with the ladder.
Yeah, you save people. Right?
Yeah, it's a good game.
It was
great game.
It's a fucking great game.
Yeah.
Right?
Good
Can you bring up Wing Commander? What was it called? The World War II one side scroller with the aircraft carrier takeoff. It was what was that called?
That was what was that?
Hang on.
That's a good one too.
Give me. It was a PC game. Wings of Fury.
Is it Wings of Fury?
I think it's Wings of Fury.
Wings of.
Dude, I have played a lot of games, bro. My explosion of gameplay.
That's exactly what it was.
My game explosion of gameplay.
Sarge's gaming knowledge is unmatched. Like he has. Oh, I love this game.
This game was the fucking shit, dude.
This game was so good.
This game was the shit. Like, you had to fly over like all AA guns. 4 guys are after you. Is madness, dude. Absolute madness.
This is what I love about our show is like we just go on these like random, like down the rabbit hole. We start looking at shit.
Like for instance, if you were to remaster this game with today's graphics, this would be amazing.
I would keep it as a side scroller though.
You don't have to make it a side scroller. You can make it an actual 3D game.
I think it would be cool though as a side scroller.
Well, what they
you do this with like
is,
Ori graphics with like Ori graphics.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Or what they could do is make a sequel, all decked out like an actual flight sim, and then have the updated version of this inside the game as a bonus.
I want to see the aircraft carrier land.
The AA guns in this game were no fucking joke, bro.
Yeah, this is some good stuff here. Eclipse says, man, old school PC game. Never got into it because my family didn't have a computer, but it looks awesome.
Oh, he didn't make it.
There's so many good games. That's takeoff. You don't want to take off. I want to see the landing. You have to land on the
landing's hard.
Yeah, landing's very hard. And the little cable catches you. And
you got to catch the cable.
You have to catch the cable. Here
you
goes.
Catch the cable.
Let's see.
Look at it. Oh, yeah, kid. The only thing I didn't like was your boat doesn't fire on the goddamn Japanese planes. Like, what are we doing, guys? How about a little air cover?
Altern says this looks old.
Of course it's old. Of course it's fucking old. I'm old. We're talking about old games. We're talking about classic games.
This game was complete. This is a complete game. This is good though. Good stuff.
So we could plan a whole show just on that shit right there.
We should one day just do retro corner.
When Blockbuster started renting NES games, right? When NES came out, remember the games were expensive, right? They were 50
Yep.
bucks. 50 bucks for a game was a lot of money back then, right? And so when they started coming out with it and you could rent them, dude, we rented everything. We
You
played
could rent Game Boy games at
we
Albertsons, for God's sake.
right. We played every piece of shit game that Nintendo ever made.
Known to man.
Every piece of shit game you could possibly
Noid,
right.
The Noid from Domino's
Everything.
Pizza had a game. We rented it.
Everything.
Spot from 7-Up rented it.
So I have zero tolerance for any games that are pieces of shit today. Like I don't care. Like I have done my due diligence. I have paid the piper for the amount of garbage games I've played over the years. So I don't care.
There's some good. There was a lot of gems though in there. There's a lot of good games.
No, there was 50 pieces of crap and then a good game. That's how it was.
What I'm saying is we found some really good games though.
Sure. After the 50 ones that you had to plow through that you played for 10 seconds. Right? Now there were some games that are crappy, but for some reason have like 3 or 4 remakes, right? Like North and South. Like North and South, everyone hated because it's a piece of shit.
Remake
game.
of that is really good too.
However, it's been remade 3 times. So obviously not that big of a piece of shit.
Yeah, the Pepsi Man game. There was a Noid. You had a bunch of stuff.
All kinds of shit.
Going to the next story here with continuing the theme with Game Pass here. Game Pass has got 10 games coming out in the next month. Okay, so
what we got?
On Ultimate, they have Metaphor. Okay. Metaphor is coming to Ultimate. It's coming to PC. It's coming to Standard as well. Division 2, Ultimate, PC, Standard. Boo! Okay. We have Zao. Is that how you say that? Zao. Ultimate and PC. We have To a T, which is Ultimate and PC. Monster Train 2, which is Ultimate and PC. We have Spray Paint Simulator. Oh, dude, I'm all over that one, Sarge. Spray Paint Simulator.
So like, they teach you how to spray paint? They teach you how to tag?
No, it's exactly like Power Wash Simulator, but you're a spray painter.
Oh, come on, man! Teach me how to tag. Well, that's the proper spray paint simulator.
We have Crypt Custodian from Ultimate PC and Standard. We have Symphonia, which is Ultimate PC and Standard. We have Creatures of Eva, which is on Standard, and Stalker 2, which just came out a couple months ago.
I thought Stalker 2 was already on Game Pass.
It was on Game Pass. Now it's on the Standard Game Pass.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Right? So there's 5 games. We have Metaphor, Division 2, Cryptic, Symphonia, Creatures, and Stalker. Six games on the Standard. So they're trying to put more value in that Standard price point for
Metaphor's on there, right? You wanted to play that, right?
Yeah, Metaphor.
That was given awards. I never knew what it was. Now I can actually try it.
So more games coming to Game Pass. So speaking of Blockbuster, Sarge, look, here it is. You have Blockbuster of every month. You get 7 to 10 games from Game Pass.
If I didn't hate Ubisoft so much now, I would actually play Division 2 again, but I don't care anymore.
But you own it. You don't have to play it on Game Pass.
I don't care. It's there. It's off the hard drive. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I took it off. I took it off as well.
You don't get to reside on my hard drive. That's not how this works.
All right, the next one is also sticking with Microsoft. We have Microsoft rumored to be testing Steam integration with Microsoft Store potentially for the next gen Xbox 2. Okay, according to Insider, Microsoft internally begun testing Steam integration within the Microsoft Store environment, intending to bring that to the next generation of consoles eventually. Xbox plus Steam are heading into the next generation, but steps have already been taken for Microsoft to just added Steam application to the support of software for its devices appearing under the name Steam Developer Beta. This, of course, is currently available for certain employees of the people who also collaborate with Microsoft and provide support for developer in certain things. This is also more just of a detail because logically reflects Microsoft's intentions to facilitate incorporation between Xbox ecosystem and the gigantic PC platform that is Steam today. The integration will allow users to run Steam more smoothly and directly from the Windows environments and also in the future. It'll be interesting to see what happens. There was a stat, Sarge, that top 20 games right now, 6 games from Microsoft are in the top 20, right? 5 of them are in the top 7, okay, of last month. So whatever Microsoft is doing, putting their games everywhere, they're selling games, man. This is physical copies, the stat that was shown. And then another one was up there was Take-Two. Take-Two had another 5 or 6 games in the top 20 as well. So between Microsoft and Take-Two, you had 12 games out of the 20 spots, and then 8 more games for the rest of the spots. So what do you think about this, Sarge? Steam and Xbox, do you think this is not a big deal, or do you think this is going to be huge for Xbox more than Steam?
I mean, I still don't believe that there's going to be an actual box. When this comes to fruition, I don't think there's going to be an actual box. I think it's just going to be the service. I think it's going to be the stick, the thing you plug into your TV to play Xbox games. I don't think it's going to be a console.
Well, they're going to put it on the app. It's going to be in the actual software itself.
Well, let's put it this way: the rift amongst gamers is you want the hardware because the hardware is supposed to give you the power to play the cooler looking games. Correct?
Through the cloud.
That's what I'm saying. So if you get rid of the fact that I don't need the hardware, I'm going to just stream the cool graphics from the cloud as opposed to me having to have the hardware. Once you convince that generation of people that this is how it is now, then you don't care about the box anymore.
Right. Well, that's what they're doing right now. They're already conditioning you not to care about the box.
Right. They're starting to condition you that you don't care about the box.
They've been conditioning you for the last 2 years, and it's just going to get more and more. It's going to become more of a thing where, I'm just going to turn the TV on and play.
Right. When they decide they're going to have the sit-down conversation with the cable company, right? This is how it's going to work, right? When the gaming companies go and have the meeting with Comcast and Viacom and all the cable companies that run the actual cables for our houses, and they say, listen, this is what we're looking to do by 2035. And they say, what do your lines hold? What are your guys, what kind of lines do you have? What is it you can run? And what's the I guess what's the proper term? It's how many houses in an area it cause the speed of which the line it can only take before it starts to
degrade. Yeah,
degrade. And almost the same kind of thing with distance for a power line, but it's not the same kind of thing. It's just data. But I think what's going to end up happening is they're gonna have the conversation where they say, well, we could do gig to people's houses. We could do gig downloads of people's houses. It just have to. We'd have to set up satellite areas in different towns so they could draw from that instead of from long distance, right?
Right.
So, once that comes, you're looking at the cable company and say, oh, like for instance, like right now, I don't want to say I'm segueing myself. I apologize. Like right now, I was sent a modem in the mail from Comcast, and they're like, hey, here's your new modem, plug this in and look at your setup procedures. And I say to myself, why do I have to plug this in? Like, why do I have to plug in the modem? Your modem, right? Like anybody can go out and buy a router and a modem. Anybody, right? I just go to the store and buy one. I'm using that one right now. It's here next to me. It's the one I bought. So why do I got to use yours? And they say, well, we're going to bump up the speed. I'm like, timeout. Right?
Yeah, they can control
your little box on my counter doesn't control the speed.
Nope.
The speed coming to my house, the line coming into my house,
they can adjust. Yeah. No, they can adjust it. They can put a dampener on it. Yeah, yeah.
I'm aware how this works.
Yeah.
I have a friend who works in the cable company. He visited me. Okay.
Yeah.
I know how this works.
He opened up your dampener, basically.
I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do that.
No, I know what you're talking about.
I would never do that. Right. But the point being is the amount of speed that you can have going into your house can reach a level. They're already doing it incrementally. I can't even speak. Incrementally, right? Where I used to only get 300 down, right? Then I got 600 down, right? Now I got like 800 down. I didn't do anything.
Right. Well, they're so they just keep raising. Yeah.
Right, because they know they need it for what they're doing. If we got to stream all these services, we got to do all this thing. Everyone's on their phones. Like you need data, right? So they know that the basic package that you have to charge people for has to be, and actually it has to work. So for it to work, your speed has to be at a certain level, so all these things can come into your house, right? So once that meeting happens and gaming comes across the cloud, you don't fucking need hardware ever. You're just playing on.
Nick Shot says the problem is that most Americans doesn't have a good internet yet.
Right.
Correct. But you got to remember, technology is exponentially getting faster and faster. Literally, Starlink, Elon Musk's company, is jetting gig data from like a little box that, while you're in a plane, and that's his technology. The reason that the infrastructure, we'll say, hasn't got out to a lot of people yet is because they weren't ready. because they weren't ready to see what the prices are, how much money they can make. It's in certain test areas, right? We've been doing this podcast for 10 years. I remember when they talked about putting gig data in like the major cities of like LA, New York, other big cities. What they do now is video games is the biggest piece of entertainment out there.
Huge.
It dwarfs everything else.
Right.
Okay. Dwarfs everything else. Now you have Xbox, you have GeForce Now, you have Sony, you have Nintendo. They're all starting to work with the cloud. They're all starting to now, because the industry said, okay, now it's time to move, right? They're getting away from physical copies. They're going to digital copies. They're getting rid of digital copies and just going to the cloud copies. You know what I mean? Like, it's still digital, but now they're going to rack servers. They're talking about bringing more server farms to places.
There's going to be a building. There's going to be a building in every town that just houses servers.
Yeah. Well, it has to be close to
right
water and rivers and stuff, so they can cool down the servers and
whatnot. But well, it's more expensive down in the south. It's a little less expensive up in the north. But the fact remains is, like Nick said. Thank you for the word, by the way. The node. Right. You're gonna have these in every city.
Yeah.
So
when he says yet, he's correct. The reason it's yet is because the industry decided they didn't want to do it yet, not because the infrastructure is like, it's really hard to get the cable. I tell the story all the time.
The lines are in the ground.
I have gig fiber optic internet 100. This is not an exaggeration. 100 feet away from me, but because I have Spectrum and they have a lockdown on my region, okay, and I'm on the border of the next county that can use the fiber, same pole that my internet is on. It's like 3 inches away from my thing where they can hook it up to my internet. I could have fiber, but I can't get it because Spectrum is holding me back, right? So it's not about America can't catch up. It's about companies want to know what the control is and what money can they get from these things.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, right, I understand the fact that you have to maintain the lines. I get it. And you have to pay guys but for the amount of money that you pay every month, cable companies are making bank, right? Forget about video game companies, right? And forget about banks. The cable companies are making trillions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The lines are in the ground. Okay. Down here, especially, there ain't no maintenance as a motherfucker. You ain't maintaining nothing.
You also have to remember, like, where I live, I have 7, 8. I don't live in a neighborhood. I live in a country type of area. So I have neighbors. They're not using gig fiber optic cables because they're mostly old. Okay. I doubt they're dropping gigabyte of data watching like YouTube and a super HD movies and stuff like that, right?
You should tap the pole. You should just tap the
pole. My point is, like you were saying, the node and how many can go out to the node. Which the node is here, okay? The people across the street have fiber. They're not gamers. They're not watching super hyper HD films. You know what I mean? So they're not using it to its full potential. So there's people that have it that don't even know they can use it. And then there's other people like me, give me all the power, right? I'm like that. I'm like, just hook me up to the core. I need as fast data as possible for upload speed and download speed because I'm a gamer. I'm a streamer. Like, give it to me. I just want to hack into the pole.
As I said before, I'm not tech savvy on that level, but I think to myself, I'm playing these games on my phone, right? My phone isn't hooked up to anything. My phone is just, the signal is coming from the sky into my phone.
Magically. Okay? It's magically coming.
Right. So the kind of games that I'm playing on my phone, I could barely be playing on an old Atari or Nintendo system from back in the day that would never work. Now we got live streaming games I could play on my phone that's coming out of the air. So what are we discussing by the amount of data that can be transferred, right? If it's in the air, right, and data it's just a signal, right? What are you saying by the amount of data I can consume or my apparatus can take in? Like, what are we discussing? Like, what is the kink in the hose for a signal coming to my phone? How much data I can have, right?
It's just not enough people are using it in your area, and they don't want to run the cable to get to that point, or they don't want to.
But what I'm saying is, when we're talking about speed and amount of data, you're
If they wanted to,
everybody's on their phones, bro.
Right, if they wanted
in a
to,
major
they could open it up and everyone could have fast speed internet, but they don't.
That's correct.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it's completely plausible, right? But just not yet.
Right.
They're not ready yet, right? Like, for instance, when there's an emergency, everyone calls 911 at the same time so no one can get through, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for some reason, and this is how I think about it, for some reason, during the course of a day, especially like lunchtime in a downtown area, everybody's on their fucking phone.
And it works
playing
fine.
games and everything works fine.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't tell me, and I'm supposed to believe you, that in case there's an emergency and people call 911, that locks it up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the data I'm using for everybody using all the crap that they're right. And don't tell me they're talking to real people. That's why there's a jam.
Real quick. Melrose Mike, thank you very much for the membership for 18 months. Says these providers are a joke. We were force fed Mediacom fiber in my neighborhood. It's great, but again, didn't have a choice, right? Because they make the contracts with the people, and you have no choice, which I hate. I can't get AT&T. I can't get links, whatever it is. I can't do any of that. We can get Starlink, but Starlink's pretty expensive right now, comparable to the regular line. But when more people start using it, that cost will come down, right? And that's just magically beaming from space, right? It's coming from space.
But you just have to look at it in a basic way, right? Back in the day, we all wanted to have fast internet, but they all said the same thing. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. Meanwhile, they're putting lines in the ground. We know it's there.
Yeah.
Like, we know it's there. I'm watching them uncoil this giant cable down the block. I know we're all getting hooked up. I can tell, right? But at the same time, they tell you it's too expensive. But when they have to raise it, because they have to in order for them to sell you product, then all of a sudden the minimums for your box all of a sudden are different. Whereas,
correct,
right? All of a sudden, instead of it being 200 down, it's 600 down, and I'm paying the same price. So we know you can charge a normal amount for the actual data because we know it's on a spigot. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like this little drip feed of data. Like, oh yeah, sorry, we can't let you have it. Like, we know it's there. We know it's there.
I have two stories. That would have been a great break right there to talk about theft from like the cable companies right into Bungie, but we have two more stories, so we'll have to wait for that. Okay, so Doom, right? Doom, the Dark Ages came out, and there's two factors here, right? I always say, like, give it the smell test, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Doom the Dark Ages, right? But the community and the people that are playing the game, no one's really talking about the game as far as like its massive sales or anything like that. Now, the company came out and said that 3 million players are playing the game. Okay, players. They don't tell you the actual sales.
I got you.
But a lot of people are like, when you go on your friends list and all of a sudden you can see your friends list and your friends list like Dark Ages, whatever's new, that game is being played. Like your friends list, you look at your thing, you're like, man, this game just came out. A lot of people are playing it. I haven't seen a lot of people on my list playing it besides Mo, right? Like you know what I mean? Like, so like
some people are Doom people. Some people.
No, that's what I'm saying. So when people say, oh yeah, lots of people are playing it, but you really don't sense a lot of people playing it. Then they say 3 million people, and then they show the Steam numbers. The Steam numbers are very low comparable to the other two Doom games, 2016, I think 2018 or 19. And then there's this one. Okay, so it says Doom Dark Ages Steam player count. Let me bring this up on the screen. Player count is the lowest of the reboot trilogy. Okay, despite the hype of all the marketing in the Doom and Dark Ages, the Steam is also at least appears to be the newest release, is resonating with it isn't resonating with the fans as much as the previous releases, as Doom player count numbers aren't amazing. Now, I get it. Steam is not the one-all be-all type of thing, but again, like I just said, if you turn on your Xbox and you don't see a lot of your friends, you might see like one friend, two friends playing the game. You don't see a mold. Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, I guarantee you everybody on your friends list is going to be playing Grand Theft Auto 6, right? You can't deny that it's not selling. You know what I'm saying? So it says it's a bold release for multiple reasons, and prequel providing plenty of much requested lore and exposition. It also could be now the plot of giant Atlas mech rides a dragon, which I think is just cheese type of thing. It says, however, early Steam numbers show a new change might not be for everyone. Doom the Dark Ages is lagging behind according to Steam. It says as of writing this, SteamDB, Doom of Dark Ages player count has an all-time peak of 31,470, where Doom 2016 had 44,271. I think that's pretty consistent, right? But also, there's a lot more gamers now compared to 2016. And Doom Eternals eclipses with 104. So the last one that came out, 104 peak on Steam. The first one, just about, about 12, 13,000 more. And the other one is 104,000. So Dark Ages hasn't been, out long, but the first weekend, the new gameplay is usually the one of the strongest, especially. So what do you make of this, Sarge? Do you think that the game is, I shouldn't say, do you think it's good or bad? Why do you think is not, we had this little conversation last night, why it's not happening, but why do you think that it's not as popular as the last one or the first one? Is it because of the game itself, or do you think it's because of the industry?
Well, I would have to see the numbers of the original games and then numbers for this one.
This one, I'm telling you right now.
Here's my
Steam,
take.
44,000, 104,000, and 31,000.
Yeah, here's my take, because I grew up during Doom, like
the original, yeah,
right. Like at first it was Duke Nukem, then it was like Wolfenstein, and then like Doom came out. Now you have to remember, when these games came out originally, the whole purpose of these games was to sell PC equipment, right? Because everybody wanted the fastest frame rate, the best looking graphics, and the hardcore music that you were playing, because it's a speedy first person shooter. That's what the whole game is about. It's a speedy first person shooter. You're supposed to be running around like a maniac, kicking ass, finding weapons. People used to time each other to go through levels. Like, that's the whole point of the game, right? This game I played it on Game Pass. I liked the movement. I liked the way they incorporated the charge move to smack him in the face in order to cover distances. Like, they gave the console, even though it's on PC too, but they gave the console a little bit more fluidity to make it feel like it's faster, because that's the whole point of the game. It's not like a run around hiding behind walls cover shooter, right? It's supposed to be,
right.
I'm Jesus and I'm killing every demon in sight, right? It's supposed to be fun, fast, and furious. But the problem now is the group of people that grew up with this game are gone, right? They have kids, they stop playing it, they play other things, and the people who don't know about this game have been playing other first-person shooters that fill the gap for this. A Call of Duty, right? All these other games.
Right, anything. There's so many games out there.
So many games. So if the number of people who play this is in the same neighborhood as the number of people that played the other games, then to them, that's a win. But you're not going to get like an entirely new group of people who are going to fall in love with this game, because there are too many other games that will divide your time. When Doom came out, that was it. There wasn't anything else really around it that was competing with Doom, right?
Yeah.
But now Doom has got like 97 neighbors, right? So you play what you want. Is the shield cool? Yes, I like it. I like the moves you can do in the game. But is it going to capture the same number of people? No. Right?
Well, I think the two problems is, one, for the PC side anyway. We don't know about console sales or whatnot, just the PC side. There's a shit ton more games. Just last year on PC, what was it? 19,000 games came out on PC. 19,000 games. So far this year, we're on pace to get like 15,000 games this year, which is 4,000 less. Okay. But still 15,000 games. And on top of that, it's the $70 price tag, where games like Expedition 33 came out for $50. Roadcraft, not that I'm comparing Roadcraft to this, but what I'm saying is that's $40, right?
For $70, you have too many choices.
Right. $70 for $70. You have to be like top tier games. And if you're $50, now Expedition 33 and other games like that, look at the remake of Oblivion, right? That right there is also top seller, and that's $20 less, $30 less.
For Doom, for this Doom game, for $70, if the game was done and the graphics were done differently, like very, very real, and make you scared shitless of demons and you have nightmares from playing the game, then they would have bought it for $70.
Right.
But it's just a Doom game that they decided to come out with, and it's nothing. I'm not trying to put down the game, but it's nothing like really special. It's just a Doom game.
I think Doom. Obviously the consistent numbers are not going to go up, but if this goes on sale for $40. People are picking it up. People pick it up, put it in their backlog, and play it. I think $70 is a big thing.
There's no
Ray in chat saying it's race because of ray tracing. He's saying ray scamming. It's because of ray tracing.
Sure.
I'll give you a little bit and say, yeah, it might be with the hardcore people, but for most people that are playing the game, I think it has to do with the $70. They have plenty of games. They can play Schedule 1 for $25 or whatever it is on sale and have a good old time. Then pay $70 for Doom and go, oh, what's the campaign? 15 hours, 12 to 15 hours.
There's zero reason to pay full price for a game. Zero reason. You have too many options. I really want to see what they're going to do about this. Like, they can promote all they want and make you think like you have to have the game all you want. But if everything's mid, if the game is just mid and you're charging that kind of price point when I know I can just get it later for cheaper, why would I get it?
There's no really incentive to get something.
There's no incentive to get it.
Yeah.
Right?
They did say
$70 is a lot of money. $80 is a lot of money.
They did say, though, this is their biggest seller of all time.
Okay, great. What's the number?
3 million players. They said 3 million players.
Great. Is it in the same neighborhood as the rest of the games that they sold?
I don't know. When the company comes out and says this is our biggest seller of all time, you got to take them at face value until otherwise.
Don't misconstrue. I'm not putting down the game. All I'm saying is with the number of options that you have, it's a mid game. Right? In order for you to redefine,
it's a mid game at 70.
Right. If you had a $70 first person shooter that blew the doors off of my fucking car, right? Like hardcore music done by some garage band from Kansas that they found, and all they do is scream into the mic and play death metal, right? And the frame rate was unlimited frames, and the demons looked real. And the blood splattered on the screen, and I had nightmares of the demons in the game. I saw them in my sleep. It's a $70 game, but it's just decent graphics, cool movement. It looks all right, but it's not visceral. It's not like I'm in it. Like it's not that. It's mid. It's okay. It's a good game, but you're not selling 20 million copies of this.
Right here, it says biggest launch in id Software 34-year history. The post social media has revealed that the latest game of Doom series has already reached 3 million players. According to the game's publisher, Bethesda, Doom: The Dark Ages reached a milestone 7 times faster than its predecessor, Doom Eternal. Okay, it says, thank you for making Doom: Dark Ages the biggest launch in id's history. The post reads. Now, do they tell us what the numbers were? It just says no matter how acquired the players, however, 3 million in 5 days' time is nothing short of impressive. So if they're impressed by that number, then cool,
good,
but
good for them.
Yeah, but it kind of looks weird when you only have 31,000 people playing on Steam and you had 104,000. Yet this one's got more players than the last one, which I don't know.
I realize that the randomness of people playing a game and to capture that number, right? You have to remember when they're doing that stupid Steam number with that stupid up and down graph line, those same people that they show on that game is a snapshot.
Yeah, it's a
snapshot of them playing the game. They're playing the other 17 games that you guys have the squiggly line about. Like, some of those people are playing those games as well. It's not like they're playing that game only, and that's the number of the people playing the game. You get what I'm saying? To capture the number of people that they want to capture, we have to have like 15,000 less games. Right? We're diluted. We're spread out amongst all the games that people like and want to try. You're not going to get some kind of crazy number unless your game is so far ridiculous or popular that everyone wants to play it, like a GTA 6 or a Call of Duty, where those groups of people come together because they like that game and they play it for that number. And then you can take a little snapshot of like, oh, look, it's 100,000 people. The game's amazing. Meanwhile, the same 100,000 people are playing the last 6 games that you did the story about.
Well, here's another thing. Does it matter the concurrent number, right? Because it's a single player game. It's not a multiplayer game. You don't need a whole like group of people to play to make this game better. It's a single player game, right? So does it really matter the snapshot of the 104,000 or 31,000 people? It's just showing that people are not interested. And that's why I go with more the money than the actual game.
I agree with you to a point, But the actual reason why they show you the fucking Steam number is because they want buzz for people to play it.
Sure. Oh,
originally,
right.
originally the buzz for people to play it was the sales numbers.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
How many people bought it? So now they don't want to tell you sales numbers because it's too low for them to even admit it. So they say people who are playing the game, like, and you show a Steam number. Like, I don't give a shit about your Steam number. I care about how many copies you sold. If I know nothing about the game, I know nothing about it.
You want to know if it's selling well,
right? If it sells well, then I'll do more research and say, why is it selling well? What kind of game is it? But to just tell me 100,000 people are playing it, 100,000 monkeys see a new banana and they're going to fucking go for the banana. Who cares? It's temporary.
Drake Opponent from Twitch says it's the same as the box office, right? But the studios used to use the box office to bring you to the box office. They're like, hey, there's #1 movie at the box office, and it made this much money, because that was a metric that you would go, oh, it's #1 at the box office, and it made this much money, so it must be good. But now the box office tries to tell you it's the #1 movie,
hide,
and they hide it, and they don't. Yeah,
different vocabulary.
Yes,
you're not telling me the truth anymore. So, like, as soon as you start talking to me like that, I stop paying attention.
Correct. Right.
As soon as you tell me
they hide it,
and people are playing our game, it's amazing.
And that's what they're doing now with these games. Instead of telling us the number of what the sales are, to be like, hey, it sold 5 million copies, and everyone's like, wow, 5 million copies. But they tell you players, 3 million players. But then when a game comes out and says we sold this many, you're like, that's a good game. But when Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out and tells you that they have 3 million players and then goes quiet, you know something's up, right? You know something's up.
Yes.
All right. Let's go to the next, what the whole stream is after, Art Raiders, okay? Which is not Arc Raiders, it's Art Raiders, which we're talking about Bungie, okay? Those of you that are new in my channel, that are watching us for the very first time, maybe, okay, I've been talking, this podcast started because of Destiny. This was a Destiny podcast from 2015. May 24th, 2015 is when we started. Destiny came out in 2014, in September. We started this in May of 2015, okay? This used to be a Destiny podcast. We used to talk Destiny 45 minutes to an hour every single week because we love Destiny 1, okay? And then slowly, then slowly they started changing Destiny. We got away from Destiny, and that's what it is, right? So now here we are. It's 2025. Bungie was with Microsoft, and they left, and everyone's like, it was Microsoft's problem. And then Bungie went with Activision, and then everyone's like, oh, they're so good. And then they had bad blood, and then they left, and they went, oh, it's Activision the problem, right? Then they were all by themselves, and they're like, oh, and then Microsoft wanted to pick them up again. They asked for way too much money. They said, you're overpriced. We're not giving you that money. And they went, okay, let's go with Sony instead. And they swindled Sony out of $3.6 billion in stock options and whatnot. But still, Sony paid money for this, billions of dollars towards this company. And then we start to slowly find out over the years. 2016 is when I started talking about Bungie, saying they got money problems. They got upper management problems. I said, I don't like them. I don't trust them. I've been saying this since 2016. Everyone's like, oh, no, Destiny's got Bungie's got, right? They've had issues all these years, and now it's starting to come out, Sarge, because of one artist, okay? Well, other artists got stolen from, but this particular artist for Marathon's the next big game coming out for Bungie, big for Sony, right? They're trying to push this extraction shooter that nobody asked for, okay? It's going up against other extraction shooters of Arc Raiders and other extractions that I don't even know the names of. There's like 5 or 6 of them coming out within the next 12 months, okay? This artist says, hey, I worked on this stuff back in 2017, and it's kind of disheartening because it's in the game, and you guys just took it 1-to-1. They didn't even like change it. They just literally took her artwork with her signature and all and threw it in. Okay, just threw it in. Then other people started coming out and saying, hey, well, they took this from me. They did this over here, this over here. Then people are coming out saying, well, this was back in 2012. You're like, wait a minute, 2012? Destiny came out in 2014, meaning they were stealing stuff for over a decade. Okay, and everyone's like, well, it's just one time. And then it's like, and then it's 2 times. And then it's 3 times. And then it's 4 times. Now it's 5. These are 5 times that we know of, right? And one of the bigger cases out there, Sarge, is the Red War, which is Destiny 2's campaign, okay, which someone said they stole their story.
They did.
Okay. And magically, for some strange reason, unbehold to everybody else in the world, the Red War got taken out of Destiny because it was just too big. It was too big.
Yeah, you
okay?
believe that. You believe that, right?
And they sunsetted their own content, and then a lawsuit comes out saying they stole my story, allegedly. Okay, but they can't show it because they wiped it all clean, and the only way they can have evidence of this is because of YouTube. Thank God for YouTube
and the thousands of videos of the Red War.
Right. So it's really funny to me that this is just yet another data point in this grand scheme of Bungie stealing artwork. Then they have the stream. This is the most awkward. Did you watch this stream, Sarge? The live stream?
I watched it for about 20 minutes, and then when I realized the amount of pressure that those two guys were on, didn't care about it anymore because they were just up there to be shot at. Basically, they threw them into the wolves.
Yeah, this was supposed to go on earlier this month.
Those two guys got thrown to the wolves.
It was supposed to go on earlier this month, but they postponed it. And between that point and this point, this is when it all broke, that the theft was going on, right? And this is where the title of the show comes, Art Raiders, because in the stream, people are saying hashtag Art Raiders because they steal art. They steal art. Now there's people coming out that worked for Bungie saying that upper management was hard to work with. They call them like the good old boys, whatever that means, whatever kind of, if they were, I don't know if it's just stuck in their old ways or if they did other things. Okay. But they were the good old boys. Okay. Where if you gave suggestions to them, they said no. They were told 4 years ago in Marathon that they should put a solo queue in there. They were told to put PvE stuff in there, and upper managers like, no. This person's artist is now linked to the complete aesthetics of Marathon's identity, so much so that during the stream, they couldn't show any footage of the game because they have to go back with a fine-tooth comb, okay, to try to pull anything.
You can't get the whole aesthetic of the game is her. You can't pull stuff out. What are you going to show me? The whole aesthetic of the game is her art. What are we talking about?
Right. So from what I just said, then there's this, right? There's people, everything happening to Bungie is because of greed. Okay. These are insiders that worked for Bungie in the past, and now they're coming out. It says ex-employees Hope Studio gets consolidated into Sony, says that's the path forward. It says it's been a turbulent time for Bungie in the studio known for Halo, Destiny, and others of Marathon. Bungie is actually admitted to using, I love this in the article right here, Sarge. It says, starting with a serious art theft allegation, and then right in the next sentence, Bungie actually admitted to using the art in Marathon without permission. So an allegation to, yeah, we did it. Not even 5 letters later. Okay. Promised to reviews all the game's assets, and shortly after developers live stream last week, the new reports started surfacing with the painted of a pretty bleak picture inside the company. Okay, reports have morale at Bungie is a free fall, with staff describing the atmosphere as the worst that it's ever seen. Okay, the marketing team has also reportedly had a scrap major plans for Marathon, as well as the upcoming public beta, now reportedly replaced with multiplayer play tests. It says everything is happening because of greed, and we've talked about Well, here, you know what? I haven't updated it in a while, Sarge, but we have a song which is called Pete Parson Cart.
From Teslas to old school rides galore, still working at Bungie, buddies out for more. Pete Parson Carson,
right? Pete Parson Carson, okay, going all the way back to Pete Parson Carson here. They have a problem with upper management. This man is running the show right now. Okay. He's still buying cars, by the way, still works at Bungie, still working there. This is insane, Sarge. This is insane with all these allegations.
It's not insane at all. Right. So a couple things. You can defend whatever you want to defend. If you're a Bungie defender, congratulations. You probably don't know the history about the company at all, but we've been through this enough times to know. I give people second chances, but we're on the 5th or 6th chance at this point. The issue with Bungie is they have very good artists in the company, and they're able to create things that draw the attention of multiple layers
A lot
of
of talented
gamers.
people there. Yes.
A lot of talented people. Okay. The issue has never been the actual developers themselves. The issue has always been their inability to handle money and their upper management. Now, they've tried changing management, but you have to remember, once a company has cancer, it has cancer. Like, you have to cut it out completely. Okay. Now, what they've done multiple times, if you do the Wayback Machine and you look at their little timeline, every time they were in trouble with money, they found somebody to bail them out. The upper guys put some of the money in their pocket. They were able to pull out whatever they needed to pull out, but then they were always in trouble with more money, right? And so either they had to use more microtransactions or get some other investor to come in. It was always a back and forth, this little seesaw battle between them not having enough money and them trying to push things out. The issue that I have is all of a sudden now all these people are going to come out and say, oh, employee said this, or people were, we were never heard. And every time we came up with an idea, they wouldn't listen to us. If you got a job at Bungie after the first two things that happened, after the Red War massacre and the Destiny 1 debacle, right? If you worked for Bungie and you didn't know about any of this stuff, it's on you. The fact that you didn't walk away when you knew that shit was going on, that's on you. When you hear the word, I'm no alleged, right? We're not going to say alleged because they got caught already multiple times. But the copyright infringements for other people's ideas, the stealing of art, the stealing of any time that happens at all in the video game space, you should distance yourself from that immediately. As a developer, don't work for them, because you're going to be caught in the backlash. Don't work for them at all. But they decided to stay because the paycheck was good. And the paycheck was good because someone in the company is very good at getting a hold of money.
Yeah.
Right?
Can't hold on to it.
So the dollar signs look really good for someone who's up and coming and needs a steady job and needs a steady paycheck. So they make it look really enticing. So you picked up a lot of good developers. But the fact remains is you still have the cancer inside the company. I don't care that it was a frat house that they keep talking about. The frat house made the most money possible. So anyone wants to complain about the frat house,
like
meanwhile they were making billions of dollars that they made during the frat house years. So let's remove that kind of bullshit, right? Either the company makes money or it doesn't, right? But at the fact that you're making money, but you're stealing art to do it, right? That's the red flag. That's when you know you should walk away. I don't have any sympathy here. There's no defending this anymore, right? Whoever's left and still works there should know that they should leave at this point before Sony steps in and guts them themselves.
Well, they should, yeah.
Right? Because the upper management has to go. Pete Carson's time is very limited. I'm sure right now he's working on his golden parachute that he gets to leave amicably and walk away with all his cars that he doesn't have to sell, his bonus for doing such a great job over the last 4 years. You know how the corporate parachutes work, right? Meanwhile, the guys who are there, once again, cannot feel sorry for you, right? Those guys' faces on that stream, right? The defeat in his face says everything, right?
You got caught. He's been there for 5 years. He got caught.
The defeat in his face says everything. You don't have the luxury, right, to feel sad. You knew exactly what you were doing. There's no way that one ex-employee who's not there anymore is the one who brought the art in, and that's who they're going to try to pin this on. Right?
Let me add this to it real fast. Right? Let me add this real fast. They blame it on an employee that's no longer there, but yet the guy, the director, okay, Cross, he's following the artist and has been following her for years.
It's all allowed. It's allowed.
Come on. He's the one that has to okay the stuff to go into the game.
Everything that goes into the game is okayed by at least 5 or 6 people, including the upper management. There's a discussion about anything that happens on the whiteboard. What are we doing? What direction are we having? There's meetings. You can't blame a person that's not there anymore for the infiltration of somebody else's art, right? That's nonsense, right? You've been caught again with your hand in the cookie jar. Again, right? Yeah. It's over. I don't care if this game comes out to be the next greatest thing in the world. Not going to touch you with a 10-foot pole. The artist that poor woman, wherever she is in England or wherever in
Scotland,
Europe, someplace, right?
Scotland, I believe.
Wherever she is, needs to lawyer up.
Yeah.
Lawyer up, right? That's it. No, I'm sorry. No payment plan for the back end. No kind of trying to talk to you about what we can do to help everything work out in a nice way. None of that. You're done. You're done.
I said this. I think she said it too quick. I know. Look, if she just stayed quiet for 4 more months and they launched it day one, and her assets are all over the game when it launches, and people paid $50 and microtransactions for cosmetic skins and all this stuff, man, she wouldn't have to. She could just make art because she wouldn't have to work a day in her life again. Now, because she said something, fine tooth comb, they're going to try to scrape everything out. They'll give her money, but she's not getting paid anywhere close to what she would have made if this game launched with all her stuff inside the game.
You cannot, as an artist, claim that this is yours at all when you spent 5 years making a game based off somebody else's work and nobody said anything. They know where it's from. You don't understand. It's not an oopsie. It's not like we accidentally did it. The line of command on how to get the art, what was used, where it come from, like what's your idea, like what's the story behind it? You came up with it one day when you were sitting around getting high and you figured out I'm going to draw things like this. Like everything is known, bro. They know where it comes from.
If it wasn't for the internet, they would have gotten away with it. I feel like this is a Scooby-Doo episode. I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't your friend Medley Kids.
But that's my point. You know where the shit is coming from. It's all documented. You can't plead the fifth or just say, well, we didn't know. Like everyone just there, we don't know. It's happened multiple times. I don't understand what you think is going to happen now. Do you think this game comes out with some other kind of art style looking like Tom and Jerry or some shit? Is it just going to come out and you think we're going to play an extraction shooter? I wouldn't give them the time of day or $1 to see what they have. To me, after the 5th time, I said this after the 2nd time, they are creatively bankrupt. It doesn't matter what they do now. You are blackballed from the community. You have to remove everyone that made decisions that said it's okay. Okay, the artwork. You have to go, right? And as far as I'm concerned, I'm done with the golden parachutes. Between the 3 buyouts that they had over the last 15 years, those guys have plenty of golden parachute. Okay. Pete Carson's has got plenty of cash. As a matter of fact, he should have to sell his cars to pay the employees that he's fucked over the last 5 years. Right. And just call it a wash and fucking walk.
Yeah. Real quick, Tweak says that she came out and said that she couldn't afford the lawyers to win the battle. No, I get that.
Plenty of pro bono work for this one.
Here's the thing, though, Tweak. This is why I said she came out too early. One, obviously, it's easier to say hindsight's 2020. If this was me and I was in her situation and they stole from me, I would have taken all the screenshots, all the things that are being documented as is, right? Go to a lawyer and say, this company, this multi-billion-dollar company who just got money bought out by another multi-billion-dollar company, has my work, stole my work, never did work for them. Here's all the information. Here's all the data. Here's all the evidence. They would go, case sold. When you make money, we make money. They would do it for you. Now you don't get that.
It doesn't matter. There's not a lawyer on the planet right now that wouldn't take this case for the amount of
money.
No,
I understand that. I would still sue 100%.
Right?
100%.
It's incredulous at this point that once, twice, 3 times, and remember, these are the times they got caught.
Right?
These are the times
we know about that they got caught. Okay? How many times did they not get caught?
I do not feel bad. And once again, I know it's going to sound kind of crass. I do not feel bad for the developers because this stuff's been going on for a while. You knew what they were doing. You know what's going on inside the business. I know you need a paycheck. We all need a paycheck. But your morals and scruples also dictate on what kind of human being you are. So if you get caught in it, if you get caught in a scandal, where artwork is stolen and you're part of it, then you knew what was
Right.
going
If you
on.
knew it was stolen and you stayed quiet, you're just as guilty as the
You're
person
just
that
as
stole
guilty
it.
as the rest, right?
Yep.
Nothing just appears out of nowhere. An entire idea of art doesn't just magically appear like Santa Claus dropped it off and we're going to base an entire game on it. This game's been in development for like 8 years.
Disney did the exact same thing with the writings of authors. They took people's work that were in books that they said didn't exist anymore and then reused them and didn't want to give credit to the authors. Disney's doing the exact same thing. Corporations do this all the time.
They don't care, bro. They can out-lawyer you. If they can out-lawyer you, they can steal from you all day long because you're too scared to pay for the lawyer, right? But believe me, there are plenty of lawyers who are well versed in copyright law and know everything about this type of procedures, who are foaming at the mouth trying to get a hold of this woman. This is open and shut at this point. You have an ongoing case with the Red War. It hasn't finished.
Right.
The guy's in court trying to still battle out the fact that they stole the story and the fact that they removed it from the game to tell you that it was too big to be there anymore. Like, how brain dead do you have to be to understand what they actually do?
So on top of this, right, here's a quote in here. It says monetization pressures were also a recurring theme. One of the former devs shared that the team was scolded over revenue concerns, even discussing whether or not the glow on the Trials of Osiris armor was too attractive because it might hurt Destiny 2's Eververse sales, right? I remember when Eververse came in, I said, I'm out, dude. I said, I'm out. I was like, they're saying stuff. And I remember when they put that one mission in for the sniper rifle. And they said,
if you mentioned that people had to play the mission in order to pay for the
you had to go buy stuff in the Eververse source so we could make more missions like this. I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's when I was like, that was 2017 when they said that shit. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. Right? I played it a little bit afterwards, but I was like, these guys are so full of shit. Then they started charging for dungeon stuff. Then they wanted to put a subscription. They suggested at one point Destiny's subscription was also floated. So it would have been, subscription model, battle pass, Eververse store. How many different ways can we get money out of these people? Full price, take stuff out, sunset things.
Well, let's go through the expense list, shall we? There was articles done a couple of years ago about how much money they spent on all this kind of shit. We built this giant new studio. We got Carson's buying cars.
There was a
multi-million-dollar mansions that they're buying.
Square foot new studio that no one went in because we had COVID.
You had COVID. Like they're like a gangster who just came out with his first rap song, and they're just spending money like water. Like they have no concept of what it takes to hold on to the money in order to run the company. Instead, when the money ran low, you just jacked up some more Eververse shit and then tried to find someone to finance you. That's basically what they've done now for the last 15 years, right? Did they make a good game in the past? Yes. Did greed get a hold of them? Yes. But also, the other shit that they've been doing over the years rotted them from the inside out. You can't plagiarize. You can't steal art. You cannot do these things and expect no retribution at all.
I really want to.
I don't think this game's coming out, bro. You think this game? I heard you today. You think this game is coming out because you think they need to make whatever money they can?
100%. Sony has not only delayed, canceled, delayed other games because of this game and because of Bungie. Right? Concord failed in 12 days. Okay. Right now, this is the perfect run for them because if they don't get it out this year, Sarge, and then fix it over the next 18 months, this game comes out any later, they're going up against all these other big games coming out. And it's not just against other games, it's against their other first-party title games they need to bring out on their system. There's a dead space. They need this game to come out.
I'm going to just put a pinch of culture in here, just a pinch, right? I don't believe that a Japanese country that believes in honor amongst all else in their culture, okay, I don't believe that they are going to allow a game to be released that did this. I don't think they're going to allow it. I think right now, no. I think what's going to happen right now is I think that Sony is trying to figure out the loopholes in their contract for buying them and how they can sue Bungie for what they did in order to recoup the money losses that they're going to have because of the fact that they cannot get a game released. That's what I think is about to happen, because there's no way that you think that they're going to allow this just to skate by because you got to sell a product. I don't feel that way for Sony. I don't think Sony does that.
I said earlier today on my stream, I said, full steam ahead, choo choo. It comes out like it is, unless right now they're putting the fine tooth comb through and they can't get it done fast enough. And they're like, we can't release because there's so much stuff in this game. They have to delay it. Other than that, they'll be like, all right, we just clear this out. We're going to put it out. We'll fix it later. Minimal viable product. Minimal. Now we're talking about minimal viable product. They're going to put proximity chat. They're going to put single player. They're going to do all this stuff to 8 months.
Not enough time.
10 months, 12 months, 18 months down the line, because problem, fix it, keep going, show the community, we're going to win you back. We're going to do this. We're hear what you're saying. We're going to fix it, right? That's what's going to happen. Sony gets goodwill. They get goodwill. Game comes out. Sony goes, we gutted the whole thing. We took them over. We're keeping Marathon going up. The guys are gone. And they go, bravo, Sony. That's what we needed. And then people forgive and forget because there's goldfish brains out there.
Bro, there's no way they're going to have that game done in 8 months in any form.
It's not going to be done. I'm not saying it's going to be done. I'm saying they're going to release it. That's all I'm saying.
You have to come up with an entire new art style. An entire new art. What are they going to do? Are they going to use their own Destiny skeletal features for their game and throw them into a marathon game? Because that's all you have as far as art style you can do in 5 months. There's no shot, bro. No shot.
Bungie has.
I understand that
Bungie has so much goodwill, and people are like fiends.
Goodwill.
Like,
they're done with goodwill.
Oh,
they're done with goodwill.
People still defend them with all this evidence, and they still defend them. They're like, nah, it's not true.
I can't help those people. I can't help them. I'm glad you keep paying them the bills for them, but I would rather give that money to somebody else that deserves it.
For me, this company's done. They were done before.
I would rather give that money to
now.
Company. Right? You have to make an example. You don't understand how this works. It's the same thing in the world of writers. If someone plagiarizes another writer, like, you're blackballed and you're done. Like, you're done. Like, it's
they use ghostwriting names to get back into the
you're
field.
done. You can't go around and do this and just think that nothing's going to happen to you afterwards. And you collected all this fucking money. They raked in millions of dollars over the years for their own.
The worst part about this whole thing is they were going to get away with it. They were going to get away with it, but because they were having a closed beta test, this would have never happened. She wasn't going to play the game. They opened up that early access test. They were supposed to be NDAs. No one was supposed to say anything. No one was going to show anything. And I said, well, you got to open it up because people are going to leak that NDA. No problem. They're going to do it 3 seconds. So then they opened it up. And then anyone could play it. Anyone could play it. And then she's like, holy shit, they have all my stuff in the game, right? She wouldn't have seen this unless the game came out when it came out. But because they changed the rules and made the open alpha test open, or it was like open more, whatever, more people saw it, more people shared stuff. And then she's like, wait a minute, that's my artwork. Like, they screwed themselves over by opening it up because it was going to get leaked regardless. But the funny part is they opened it up and they screwed themselves because they opened it up. It's quite funny, actually, at least to me. So, look, Bungie's been the same company that they've been with the last decade. People gave them all these oh, no, we say it all the time. Bungie does no wrong. Right. Bungie does no wrong. They could kill your cat, and they'd be like, well, it wasn't Bungie's fault.
Yeah, it's too many chances, and the rot is from within. It's not an oops. It's not an oops. It's intentional.
Of course it's intentional. 5 times is not oopsie.
It's intentional. She needs to lawyer up. Someone needs to take her case and lawyer up, and basically, because if here's the thing, they don't even have to sue. They don't have to go after Bungie. They can go after Sony.
Here's the best part: they can keep all the stuff in and just pay her, but they would rather remove all the stuff and then give her a small package deal. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, the fact that you wouldn't incorporate her at all says the greed level that you're talking about. The fact that they wouldn't involve her at all for using her work says what level of greed they're at. They would rather blatantly steal someone's work and just skate by.
Eric, you might, to be honest, you're saying the art style sucked ass. Doesn't matter. They stole her. If you think it sucked ass, and they try to get away with it without paying her one penny.
Well, what you really should be asking, Eric, is the fact is that after 8 years in development, that's what they settled on. What was everybody else in the art department doing?
Well, apparently there wasn't
Right.
one. That's why they had to take the steal the aesthetic from her.
Explain to me after 8 years of Halo and 10 years of Destiny, your art department doesn't exist. It's impossible, Eric. It's impossible, bro. Come on. Right. I agree with you. That art style is trash. But then that also says a whole lot about your art department. What's going on? What's going on in the art department?
If that was the best one, right? That was the
Right.
best
That
one.
was the one they went with.
And they stole it.
Right. That's why I say they're creatively bankrupt.
The best one they stole. Everyone else is like,
It's Bizarro World, bro. It's Bizarro World.
Well, here's a side note, right? So here's the next game coming out for Destiny. Now, Bungie's not has anything to do with it, but Destiny Rising announces first closed beta test app store pre-orders. All right, this is that mobile game that Destiny's coming out. I want to know personally if this gets affected because of what happened with Bungie. Now, I know this has nothing to do with Bungie. This has nothing to do with Bungie. This is Destiny, and this is being made by NetEase, if I'm not mistaken, right? NetEase, right? I want to know if this happens the same thing that happened.
Wait. What do you mean it's made by NetEase?
NetEase made Destiny Mobile. We talked about this like last year.
Did they buy the IP from them?
No, because Sony owns them. They gave it to NetEase, and NetEase is making the mobile game.
So this was after the purchase? I'm trying to figure out.
It was before. No. This is before the purchase because I believe NetEase gave them $100 million to whatever, but that was for stock options.
Okay,
and
that's
whatnot.
why I was getting confused. So this is still part of the money that NetEase gave to Bungie.
I don't know. I know NetEase invested $100 million into Bungie.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with.
No,
Sony
I understand that
directly.
No, I understand that.
I mean, they own Bungie now, so yeah, they kind of do. But
but here's what I'm saying. NetEase is making this game. It's complete standalone. It has nothing to do with Bungie. Bungie didn't work one moment on this game. Okay. I'm saying is they're going to be overflow, like what happened with the with Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Okay. And then Solo got shit on because of that. Or Avengers came out for video games, and then Guardians of the Galaxy got shit on. Is this going to get shit on because this has the thematic of Destiny? It's Destiny.
Yeah, but I don't want to misconstrue this. I thought the original conversation for this in the past was NetEase paid Bungie to make a mobile game.
No, they invested into Bungie.
They gave them money to make a mobile game. Bungie is making this game. It's not NetEase.
If they did it for a mobile game or not, they just invested into the company.
That it matters. What I'm saying is that NetEase gave Bungie money to make a mobile game.
I'm pretty.
Bungie's working on this themselves.
No, Bungie's not working on it.
Then where did NetEase give the money? That was the original story. The original story was NetEase paid Bungie to make a mobile game. We talked about that for a couple years now.
Hold on. Let me bring it up. In 2018, NetEase invested $100 million into Bungie, the developer of Halo and Destiny, gaining a minority stake in the seat of the board. This partnership aimed to support Bungie's transition into global multi-franchise entertainment studio. It doesn't say anywhere that they gave $100 million so they can make a video game. It just says they invested $100 million into Bungie.
Investing in you means you need something in return. That's
sure.
The video game is the
This
return.
is the money that they can't hold on to, right? And then just 2 years later, they got purchased by Sony.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Bungie's working on a mobile game.
No, Bungie is not involved at all.
They have to be.
They're not involved at all with NetEase. NetEase has made this 100% on their own. They
with
got
no Bungie people.
No Bungie people.
So what are they giving the money for? That they bought the license from them?
You're confusing two things. NetEase invested $100 million into Bungie.
For what?
And NetEase made a mobile game of Destiny.
What was the $100 million for? The whole
none of our business. They invested $100 million into Bungie.
The whole conversation we had from back then was they gave them money to make a mobile game.
No, they gave them $100 million to be a seat on the board.
All right, I'll look up the stories because I'm pretty sure it was to make a mobile game.
I'm reading it to you right here. In 2018, NetEase gave them $100 million in Bungie to develop the Halo, okay, to get a seat on the board. That's it. $100 million to invest in the company. This has nothing to do with the actual game that NetEase is creating.
Okay.
Like, I don't understand. I'm telling you what it is. It's a seat on the board, $100 million.
If NetEase paid money to be on the board, and then NetEase also is making a game that's called Destiny on mobile,
the $100 million is going to see on the board. The $100 million is not to make this mobile game, right? You're just making that up, right? Might have been other money involved in the back, but the $100 million is just the investment to be on the board of Bungie, right? Now, NetEase made the mobile game. My question to you is, do you think the mobile game is going to get hit because of what's happening right now with Bungie, even though Bungie has nothing to do with the mobile game?
I mean, I would think it'd have to be involved, but if you're saying that it's not, then it wouldn't have anything to do with them at all, then, wouldn't it? If you're telling me it's not made by Bungie, then it doesn't matter.
Chat, maybe you guys can answer this question for me, okay? Because Sarge doesn't understand what I'm saying.
I do understand what you're saying.
No, you're thinking because Bungie. I'm saying is there going to be spillover? Last Jedi affected.
Bungie's not affected with it. So what's the problem?
The Last Jedi affected Solo, and Solo had nothing to do with the Last Jedi. But this movie got bombed because of the thing that happened before it. Marvel's Avengers came out and it bombed and it affected the Guardians of the Galaxy game, even though Guardians of the Galaxy had nothing to do with this game, but it got affected because of this. Do we think that this mobile game will be affected because of Bungie's actions, even though it's not included or has anything to do with this mobile game?
NetEase game made in China. Chinese like the mobile market. I don't think it would.
Okay. Krabsy says it'll be fine. Anything else with Destiny Marathon's name is tainted at this point? That's what I think, Pone. I think anything that has to do anything thematically with Destiny, Marathon, Bungie is like, they're not going to touch it right now. El Nitty says it won't be affected. Ultron says they eat up gotcha games and pay win games like nothing.
Yeah, that's the market.
Sir Gabby says NetEase is able to use the Destiny IP to make a mobile game with them. They also use separate developer studio. Yeah, they have nothing to do with the actual thing. I understand that. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, will these guys get affected because of just the Destiny name, which is associated with Bungie? That's all. Because we got to remember, most people don't know NetEase is making a mobile game with Destiny, as Sarge thinks that Bungie had something to do with it. So most people would think that Destiny mobile phone, that Bungie did this. So if Bungie did this, then they're going to get affected. That's exactly what I'm saying. Most people, the normies, the casuals, don't know that NetEase has no connection to Bungie as far as making the game. Except
buying the IP in order to make a thing with the name on it.
They didn't, though. There's no anywhere receipt that they paid the $100 million to get the IP license. The $100 million was a seat on the board. Now, if the seat on the board said, hey, we have extra money to put towards you, and then we want to use your IP, sure. But that's not, we don't have that. That's private information. We don't have that. So that's all speculation.
Well, I know they're calling the mobile game Destiny.
It's called Destiny Rising. Yeah. It takes place in like an alternate universe of Destiny.
Sounds like the same IP to me.
You're absolutely correct. Even more reason why people would probably boycott it, because it's associated with Bungie.
But not in China, because they don't care.
It's everywhere, though. It's not just in China.
It'll affect here. Get the word Destiny on it. But over there, they don't care.
Sure.
They don't care.
This is a gotcha game being sold on mobile. It'll appeal to other audiences in the East. Yeah. Again, you're saying stuff I know, but you're not saying if it will get affected or not. You're just saying, oh, in the East it'll be fine. Great. In the West, do you think it'll be fine? Or do we think that it's going to get affected over here? Travis says, Mike, if the people are willing to say this woman doesn't matter, then guess what? It won't affect it. Okay.
It's just bizarro world at this point. They can do all the damage control they want. It's not gonna matter anymore. It's a repeat behavior, and let's put it this way: if they don't get rid of Pete, then really no one gives a shit. Pete's got to go.
Here's another story about Marathon. It says it has to break into the top 5 NPD sales of the year to be considered a success. It's claimed. again.
The word "it's claimed" at the end of every fucking thing that they say.
It just means they made up something and they put that to. So
Give me this guy's name. Give me this fucking guy's name.
Is it Zahad Ali?
Yeah, that's a made up name. They know how much bullshit that they do now. They make up names now. How do you spell his last name?
I closed it down. Is ALII, I think it was. The marathon. Let's go with. Let me see what other story we got going on here. Let's talk. What time is it? We got 1:43.
Look up these people and see what kind of articles they actually write. It's claimed.
Okay, Hogwarts Legacy 2, Sarge. Right? Hogwarts Legacy 1 sold like gangbusters, 30 million copies or 25, 30 million copies or something like that. It takes place 80 to 100 years before what happened in the movies of Harry Potter. Okay, so that's where Hogwarts Legacy 1 sits. Hogwarts Legacy 2, okay, coordinating with HBO's Harry Potter TV series, which is a little confusing because you start off as a fifth-year student in Hogwarts Legacy 1. Okay, you would think that they would just continue your story in Hogwarts Legacy 1 to the 6th year and then maybe the 7th year if they do another sequel after that. But now they're trying to connect it. Now, we've talked about stuff like this in the past with like Defiance, and I always talk about even with Marvel's Rivals coming out, right? And they put the Fantastic Four out earlier in the year. I said they should have waited till like the summer and put it out at the same time with the movie promotion and stuff like that. Like, I'm okay with crossovers like that. Defiance was weird because Defiance was a crossover where the show took place in Missouri, I think St. Louis, and then the game took place in California and San Francisco and whatnot. And you would see people go from this show over to this and this over here.
It was interesting. It was it
was definitely interesting. But this sounds a little weird because Hogwarts Legacy 1 was beloved, right? People really liked it. The Harry Potter heads or the Potter fiends loved it, liked going around the world. It wasn't connected like so close to the movies. It was 100 years, so you could do what you want, tell the stories that you wanted. But now they're saying that it's going to connect to the TV series. Now, we don't know how it's going to connect to the TV series. Do you think this is a good connection or a bad connection, especially since the game basically stood on its own? But now they're connecting it with the Harry Potter series. And again, the series is basically a remake of all the movies. They're doing, I think, 7 seasons. But HBO is going to be it's going to be a TV series instead of a film.
Well, first of all, the game came out way after the movies did. I don't think that they thought the game was going to do that well. I got to be honest with you. I thought they were going to just make a Harry Potter game. But as soon as the popularity of the game was shown, they decided they had to put their grubby little hands all over it now. And now they're going to try to do all this corporate crossover bullshit. So now what you're going to have to end up with is if the actual director and the writers of the actual show follow what actual Harry Potter lore is, for those who are potheads and know everything about it, then
Potterheads, not potheads.
That they know what it is and they actually follow the lore, then maybe it'll do well. But like everything else that gets corpo touched, is they're going to use the wrong people, wrong stories, and then try to attach a shitty game to a shitty show, right? Instead of just letting the game be what it is and have people enjoy it, the minute they found out that the game was worth a damn, they had to put their hand directly into the pocket immediately. It was immediate. It wasn't even like no one gave a shit about this game. It was like, oh, it's a Harry Potter game. Then all of a sudden it was like 25 million copies. Holy shit, we got a Call of Duty on our hands. Call the boys, right? They come running in with their suitcases.
How can we associate the show with the game?
How can we exploit the game? That's basically what this is.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't want them to connect it at all. I think I really enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy 1, and I would be okay if it was just going on to, like, we talked about it in depth of like year 2 or year 6 in the game where you go to like maybe a different wizarding school and the adventures take place on different maps. You don't have to go through the same castle again and whatnot.
If you have 2 games that are really successful and they both sell 25 million copies, then decide to connect it to the show.
Well, and then if they also connect to the show, at least I hope they do it like tastefully, right? Where maybe it's like connected as far as Harry Potter's dad's in the school. It's just too big of a span, but maybe his dad's in the school and you're in class with him or something like that. You know what I mean? And then obviously you went to school with his dad, and then dad happened, and it connects.
They're not that creative.
No, I understand that. Or are they going to be like, Harry Potter's going to give you a quest, and Hermione's going to give you a quest?
That's more along the lines of what they would.
And then what happened in episode 1 on HBO is now going to be a mission inside of Hogwarts that week, because it's going to be a live service. Now, that's where I think they're leaning more towards this. I think Hogwarts Legacy 2, if it's connected to HBO's show pretty tight, that they're going to make it a live service. So like every week, sort of like Defiance did. Defiance had different things that happened, like whatever happened in the show, then that person came over and there was like a mission and an event that happened.
It was done very well considering what they were trying to do. A lot of people thought it was stupid, but the fact that you were trying to connect a video game season to a season of a show was pretty unique at that time.
Yeah, right. I think they did very good. I think what happens here is because they haven't even started filming the show yet. Obviously, this game is maybe 2 years away, 3 years away, all depending. Obviously, they're going to use the same assets and stuff like that, so it cuts down the time of whatnot. If they use the Hogwarts Castle again, if they use the same area, maybe make a bigger map or whatnot. Maybe they do something along the lines of what Spider-Man did with Spider-Man 1 to 2, where they made the map bigger, but they still use the same assets. You know what I mean? So it didn't take another 4 or 5 years to make it. It takes
that's completely plausible, but the idea is the timeline. See, instead of letting the game be organic, they want to connect it to something else for marketing purposes, but they don't know what it is. They don't understand what Harry Potter is. All they want to do now is hire a bunch of people that can put the guys' faces that they recognize inside the game. That's all they care about. It's not about the actual game. Remember, the lead up to Hogwarts Legacy wasn't a big show.
No,
right?
No one talked about it.
No one gave a shit about it.
No one gave it any rewards. Right? No one talked about it. It
didn't get any rewards because it was during a political season of we have to all shit on J.K. Rowling. Is what happened.
Because of what she said.
Yeah. So now my question is, if you're going to do a show and then this other game, does she get to collect some more money from the people that hate her so much? Is that how
I don't think she has anything to do with the game. Obviously, she has. I don't think she has anything to do with the new reboot either. Obviously, she's the creator.
I think she gets paid some way, one way or the other.
Well, she paid the rights for the movie rights and stuff like that. Right? They paid her for that, so she made her money off of that. So I don't think she has anything about casting or what happens in the actual thing, because they're changing fundamental things in the story where they're race swapping characters already. So we'll see what happens. Look, I think they could do it tastefully. I don't think they are going to do it tastefully, though. I think they're going to fuck it up. I think they're going to fuck up the formula. It's WB. WB finds a way to fuck up everything.
Do you know how much money in the whole WB is right now? The number,
like $55 billion or some shit.
It's absurd. It's absurd the amount of debt that they're in, right? You think the corporals are going to let that be hands off something that actually works? They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. They have to touch it. They have to. It's like bringing a kid to a toy store and telling them not to touch anything.
Right. Don't touch this red button. Don't touch this. All right. So let's go from that to. I want to talk about this, and then we'll go to Q&A, right? There's a lot of other stories that we're not going to get to because there's this thing. I had a conversation, and I want to get your take on this, right? So there's this new program from Google. It's called Flow. It's AI-powered filmmaking with VO3, okay? There's not going to be sound here, but I'm going to play this, and just know that everything you're watching on the screen, Sarge, is AI. Everything's AI generated, from the backgrounds to the characters to the voiceover. Obviously, it's actual people. I'll give you another video later where the voices is actually done by all AI. But these are like little short movies that were created and all done with inside this thing by just typing. Okay, ingredients for video: backseat of a 1970s taxi with printed cloth with a jellyfish underwater. Boom, right? Now, just from that, and they show this. Are you a filmmaker? Now, I know the definition of filmmaker: using tools to make motion picture. I get that. Would you say that you're a filmmaker if you're typing a sentence and then this pops up? Like, what did you do as the artist besides typing a sentence?
You're going to have to invent new lingo to describe what we're introducing because this is all new stuff. But I would say you're a digital artist, is what I would call this.
I think you're a storyteller.
A digital artist is what I would use here, because you're typing in the words that translate to this, but it's not your art it's not your art personally, but your words created it. So you're basically transcending the written form to video form. Like if I wrote something, I'm an author, right? But if I write something and I get to witness what I wrote, then I'm not a filmmaker, right? So I would classify it as, until the term comes out of what it actually is, I would say I was a digital artist.
Right, which basically is what the people are now that are doing the special effects and whatnot.
I mean, with all the kinds of stuff that we see with the AI now, I think the first thing that's going to happen, I'll be honest, before we get into movies and they figure out how to work shit, I think what Flow is going to do is come up with the most badass commercials we've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be indistinguishable, and you won't even know the difference between AI and what. Obviously.
I give it like 3 or 4 years, and I think the Super Bowl halftime show is done nothing but big companies that used Flow to make their advertisements, and I think we're going to see the most craziest commercials ever.
I can't play the sound on this because the thing won't capture because it's in the wrong browser. But this scene here is showing us what they're saying on the screen right now is, we can talk now. We can talk now. We can talk now. And what it's doing is, the AI, this is all AI talking. What they're doing is they're saying it to each other, and they're saying it in different tones, different fluctuations of their voice. They're whispering, they're screaming, they're singing.
None of these people are real.
None of these people are real. Nothing here is real. These are all AI.
Yep.
Okay. From animated to black and white to musicals to dancing, all of this is fake, right? All of this is generated from AI. Okay, you can sort of see it with the running a little bit like that, right? But everyone knows it's AI because I'm telling you it's AI, right? But if most people, all of a sudden, the Space Odyssey came out and this was out there, there's no actors, right? There's no actors. There's no voice actors. There's no set building. There's no location scouts. There's not even a camera being used. There's no lights. Nothing here is in physical form. It's all being done within the computer and through AI. So myself, I could just type in something. 2 guys doing a podcast, and I can make a movie based on the podcast that we're doing right now, all by typing one sentence. Now, I could be the storyteller in this program and write it, or I could ask ChatGPT to write a story about 2 guys doing a podcast, and then it could give me a goddamn script breakdown, and then I could copy pasta that into this, and then it makes the whole entire thing. Now, I'm not saying everyone's going to do that, okay? But if the point is that I can do that, and if I can ask one robot to write the script and then copy pasta that into this other robot AI program to make the movie, how am I a filmmaker, right? How am I the person that did absolutely nothing all of a sudden getting credit where I'm the director, producer, the camera guy, the acting coach, but I didn't do anything. I have done absolutely nothing, but yet I'm a filmmaker.
I feel, I got to be honest with you, when I watch stuff like this and I know it's all AI people, I don't feel connected to it at all. Like, I watch it for the purposes of listening to what the person who created it is trying to convey, but I have no connection to it because I know it's all fake. Like, I get it. Like, some people don't, like, you don't care.
But if I didn't tell you this was fake, and I'm saying, hey, we're watching this 1950s movie, and you never knew it was fake, would you still feel the same way?
But I'd like to know about the star in the movie. They did such a great job. And then I look up the star doesn't exist.
Well, that star can exist in the next film because you can save him and you can bring him into the next film.
I'm aware, but there's still no human connection to me.
I get it. Yeah.
To me, it's empty, because now, once again, if I'm a movie creator and I get to create stories with a digital clipboard, and I can type in the words in my head onto a screen and then have AI change the words from the screen into the world that's inside my head, is fucking incredible as far as a filmmaker is concerned. However, you're not paying a soul. Right? We're going to get to the point now where someone can make a movie who figures out how to use ChatGPT and the flow correctly, like in a really professional way, and come out with an entire 45-minute movie right, not like a long movie first, but like a short movie, like an hour movie, maybe like a 45-minute to an hour movie, and you didn't pay a soul, and have people pay to watch it,
Well,
right? That's going to destroy Hollywood.
This
Destroy
hits me. This hits me a little different, right? Because I love technology. I use AI. I use ChatGPT. I've been using ChatGPT for about 2 years on ideas. I brainstorm things. I use it in that format, right? Helps me come up with ideas for thumbnails and whatnot for videos, right? I'm using it. I'm actively using ChatGPT. Where I also worked in the film industry for close to 20 years. I had a skilled trade where I was a focus puller inside the union for movies. Okay. Now I haven't been in the movie industry for quite some time now because I had a son and I stopped working in the industry. Every once in a while I go back, and the industry changed over the 20 years I was there. It changed dramatically, but this is completely different. And I'm not mad or upset that this exists, right? Because back in the day, it was a film camera that you had to twist and turn, and then it became a big ass movie camera, and then it became a smaller camera with digital and small tapes, and then it became your cell phone. And I get it, it adjusts over time, but you're not even doing anything anymore in this, right? Like writers are now directors instead of the process of if I had a scene of my family sitting at a dining room table, 3 people, kid, 10 years old, wife, 40 years old, husband, 40 years old, sitting at a wooden table. You're like, this is what a wooden oak table in your house with the light shining through the window, right? That sentence is now employing 50 people, right? You got an art department, you got a wardrobe department, you got the actors, you got the scheduling, you got the set that you built, right? You got workers that built that, you got workers that built the table, you got the art department that put it in, you got the lights coming through the window, you got all of this stuff happening. And now it's just one person going, oak table, sitting at the dining room table, a sentence, boom, I'm a filmmaker. And it's like, bro, it's not that easy. I joke about this because everyone was giving Katy Perry shit a couple weeks ago because she went up in this, she didn't even go into space. She went to the tippity top before you could break into space. Okay. And she's an astronaut now. That's not how that fucking works. Right? That's not how that works.
But in clown world, if you believe it, then that's the truth now, right? So the issue I have is, I think the benefit of this would be people who are willing to learn how to use the AI technology will be able to convey to an actual filmmaker what the story that they want to make, and they'll be able to convey it to them in such a profound way that they can use that as the template for you to actually make the movie, right? So like if I say like I want to make a sci-fi movie about a cab driver that wins the lottery and finds out that all his past girlfriends who were prostitutes are trying to kill him, right? Because he's got the money, right? And I type that into ChatGPT and I get like a 10-minute thing of what the movie's going to be, right? Looks all cool because I type in what's in my head onto the screen and that's what comes out. Then I present that to somebody in the industry. I'm like, this is my screenplay, right? Instead of showing them a screenplay, right? Instead of them reading a screenplay, you are watching the screenplay.
Right. You're making the storyboard basically.
Right.
Motion. Yeah.
Right. So in the beginning, they'll be able to convey what they want to a studio, and the studio will be able to take that and say, yeah, let's make this. This looks good. And then use options of AI technology to benefit them, not use all the people, but some of the people. But I see where this is going to go.
Real quick, El Nini says everything is digital now. No difference in the end product is a movie. It says 28 years later was filmed on an iPhone, 15 no film. You're misconstruing what I'm saying, El Nini. You're saying because it was filmed on an iPhone, it doesn't make a film. I don't care what the device that you're using to actually film it. You're filming it. There's people in front of the camera. There's in a setting. There's stuff that you're filming. There's people that are actually doing the job. You typing 28 years later was filmed and put that into ChatGPT, it makes a whole script because you type what you just typed, doesn't make you a filmmaker. I'm sorry. It doesn't make it a filmmaker. Does it make it a movie? Sure. It made a movie, but you're not a filmmaker. You're not even a writer. You didn't do anything. You typed in a sentence and it made a script based off an idea, and then the idea was made into a film with AI. The AI is the filmmaker. The AI is the scriptwriter. The AI is everything. You are absolutely nothing. in this equation. You as the viewer don't give a shit because you're just a viewer and you just want to be entertained, okay? Which is fine, right? Filming something, an actual job of filming something is a filmmaker. Doesn't matter if it's digital, right? There's no people in this. There is nobody here. This doesn't exist. None of this exists. The window, the people, the dress, nothing exists. You didn't film shit. You wrote something down and it made a movie, but you are not a filmmaker. Sorry. That's the way I feel because I actually worked in the film industry.
It'd be terrifying to see an AI actually win an Academy Award. I hope I'm dead before that happens. You're going to give an award to you're going to give an Academy Award to AI for best direction.
They were caught using a normal camera. What's a normal camera? Most productions use different cameras for different situations, right? If I'm in a car, I can't put a Panavision camera inside the car because it won't fit. So you have to put a rig on the outside, or they put a GoPro. Or if they don't use a GoPro, they use a lipstick camera. If they don't use a lipstick camera, they use a camcorder. If they don't use a camcorder, they use a DSLR, right? There's thousands of different cameras that you can use for different situations.
I see a lot of people being unemployed. Is what I see. I see an entire court case of new laws having to be. I see SAG-AFTRA going into the toilet, and I see a bunch of people not going to work. Is what I see.
Krebsy says, so people who film in Unreal Engine 5 aren't filmmakers? Nothing in Unreal Engine 5 exists. Are you filming actual people? You're a designer. You're designing stuff. You're using assets that other people made. Now, if you're a creator in Unreal Engine 5 and you're making every single thing like a person doing stop motion where they make claymation and they carved every single claymation and shape them and put it and take a snapshot and do the stuff, right? Or visually, South Park, okay, in the actual computer system, they move I forget what program they use, but they move Stan and stuff. That's filmmaking. There's someone actually doing the stuff. If I ask Unreal Engine 5 to make me a desert scene, okay, and it procedurally generates it, no, you're not a filmmaker. If I ask Unreal Engine 5 to take an asset and make a character there and I didn't do it, then no, you're not a filmmaker. You can make a movie, but you're not a filmmaker.
Yes, this is gonna go bad. Once again, this is like giving a monkey a gun. This is not going to go well. We're not even close enough to understanding what we're creating. Never mind
quick,
making laws on it.
Hey, look! I just shut my light off. I'm an electrician. Okay, I'm an electrician now. I'm an audio technician also because I'm doing audio as well. Okay.
We got a whole bunch of new laws about to come out. That's what's about to happen. Speaking
of this, we have another story because this is Hollywood, right? Hollywood's on the end of here. We have Fortnite. SAG-AFTRA, which I think they're 100% wrong in this particular situation. Okay, SAG-AFTRA files an unfair labor practice charges over Darth Vader's AI voice in Fortnite. Okay, James Earl Jones, God rest his soul. Okay, the voice of Darth Vader, the most not probably the most iconic, okay, voice in cinema history. Okay, Darth Vader's voice. Okay, his estate and in his will said that he has given them the rights to use his voice as Darth Vader moving forward. Okay. I would think if I was James Earl Jones, the reason he did this is because he knows that people love Darth Vader so much that he wants them to hear his voice. And that's what he did. Now, Fortnite makes a lot of money. They make a lot of money. And SAG comes out and says, well, it's not fair because we have plenty of people on this planet that can be the voice actor, that could redo the voice of James Earl Jones's, voice of Darth Vader. Okay. And they have unfair practices because they just use AI voice for this. Well, James Earl Jones, who's no longer in SAG, why?
He's dead.
Because he's dead. Okay. There's no law that says that SAG, once you're beyond the grave, still gets a cut of your voice. Now they are trying because they're like, well, we have to come up with a rule for this because this is unfair, right? You could give work to one of our living actors and then we can get a percentage of that. But now you're using someone's voice. Now, I think this is a specific, there's a lot of iconic voices out there, like Morgan Freeman.
Not on that level.
No, I understand that, but that's why I say Morgan Freeman's probably up there as like the closest one. But James Earl Jones, this is iconic character. Right? It's not like James Earl Jones if they did the what was the baseball movie? Field of Dreams, right? Where he was a character in that movie. It's not like they're going to bring that movie back and they're going to voice. No, they'll just recast him for that. This particular character is very iconic. Okay, so they're trying to make money. They're trying to set rules. There's a huge strike going on. It's been going on for almost a year now about protecting voice actors, protecting the people that are trying to make work, but it's being replaced by AI. Now, obviously, the AI is actors now, right? The AI is going to take over roles, right? Your favorite character is going to be fake, not going to be real. Okay, you basically might as well like Bugs Bunny, because Bugs Bunny is an animated character, but the voice of Bugs Bunny is an actual real person, but not anymore, right? Like in the future, all voiceovers will be done by AI. So where do you think? Do you think SAG is correct here, Sarge? Where they should fight for the people and have someone else cast to do the Darth Vader's voice? Someone else did a Darth Vader voice inside of the last Star Wars Force Awakens. No, was it not Force Awakens was the first movie. Star Wars not Outlaws. Star Wars, there's I forget what the second sequel's called. Jedi Survivor. Darth Vader was in that, and his voice sounded so strange, right? It was like
because they didn't want to pay him.
Right, they had someone else do the voice, and it wasn't as good
because they didn't want to pay him. So what are we talking about here? So you wanted to save money, right? So you wanted to use somebody else's voice because you have to get it. You have to get paid. Meanwhile, the person whose voice it should have been, you didn't want to use. So you made a choice. So they have a choice.
Well, my point is the fake voice hurt Darth Vader's voice because they're like, that doesn't sound like Darth Vader. I'm sure someone could do a perfect Darth Vader voice, but James Earl Jones himself said, you can use my voice for this character. And then they went to the estate and got permission from the living estate to say, yeah, you can use it. But SAG is upset because they can't get their cut. Too
fucking bad, SAG. Too fucking bad.
Do you think this rule changes because of living characters? Like, so for instance, if Keanu Reeves is still living and they want to make John Wick character and they want him to voice it, but they don't get him to voice it, do you think it's different if someone's living compared to someone dying?
If I want to use a specific voice, then I use a specific voice. If you want to play the tomato game here, if they're alive and you're trying to copy someone's voice, they have a say. If they're not alive anymore and the estate's been given permission, then you don't have a say anymore. That's just, it's all fair. Like if I wanted to use, like if you know somebody's voice outright, but you don't want to pay them, that's different than saying that they're dead and I have permission to use their voice. It's completely two different things, right? Like if I wanted to use Morgan Freeman's voice to tell a story and I refuse to hire Morgan Freeman, yeah, I should be sued.
Right.
If I'm trying to use Morgan Freeman's voice, right? And if you really want to get technical about it, right, that you can still do a voice print. And if you're trying to match his voice, then we know you're trying to match his voice.
Well, they did that with Scarlett Johansson with the AI voice.
I'm aware. Right.
Yeah,
and
they tried to do it, and
she had a right to sue them as well.
That's correct. Right. So they didn't get permission from her, and they used her voice as AI, where they did get permission to use James Earl Jones' voice, and they used it. Right.
Point proven.
So I don't think Fortnite's in the wrong here. I think they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They went to the estate, said, "Hey, can we use your husband, grandfather's, father's voice, whatever, for Darth Vader?" He gave his license off to Lucasfilm, got the blessing from the estate, got the blessing from LucasArts, and then they put it in there.
Now, of course, if let's put it this way, they got permission. Now, if somebody else takes James Earl Jones's voice, and I'm playing Fortnite, and they mod it, and I keep hearing James Earl Jones tell me to go fuck myself.
Well, which is happening in the game, by the way.
Which is right. There's no permission for that, so you should be able to allow to sue for that. I think now the kid in me thinks it's funny because James Earl Jones just told me to go fuck myself as Darth Vader. It's a little bit funny, but in the professional sense of using someone's voice, not permission, valid point to be sued.
Well, which is funny here because during the AI thing, did you see the clip of someone asking Darth Vader, what do you think of the original trilogy and the sequels and stuff?
Yeah, someone told me that he liked the first and the second one, but there's no such thing as the third trilogy.
Yeah, the third trilogy doesn't exist, is what James Earl Jones from Beyond the Grave's AI voice said that the original trilogy,
but they programmed it to say that. Let's be honest.
maybe, but it's still fucking
Still
hilarious that
funny.
it happened. Yeah,
Still funny, but
all right, chat. We're gonna get some questions here. If you guys have questions, put a Q in front of it, and we'll take some questions. We'll let this run for a little bit to get your questions in, and then we'll answer some questions, and then we'll wrap it up for the show.
The AI thing is going to be horrible, bro. We're not mentally sound enough to understand what it is yet, and they're trying to control it already. They're trying to establish laws already. They have no idea what they have, right? Media is going to be a nightmare. People are going to be able to say and do things and not take accountability because the people on the screen aren't real. So there's no accountability for someone that's not real. Do you understand what I'm saying? The laws that we have in place currently are going to be completely and totally disallowed if I just use AI technology, which means we're going to have to come up with an entire new set of laws just to deal with the day-to-day use. Never mind making a movie or a commercial or whatever else we're going to be doing. Well, it's to be madness, bro.
The problem that I see right now is like the oversaturation of games, right? And movies. What's going to happen now? There's always a timetable. Like studios have a timetable. So if like they're like, okay, we got the script, right? How do we get the script to? What's the run? All right. Well, if we do pre-production is 2 weeks. Okay, great. 2 weeks there. How much time do we get for actual filming? Let's say that's 4 weeks. All right. So they're like, all right, within 6 weeks, we can put this together, film it. How much is editing? Editing will be 4 months. Great. So there's a timetable there, right? So we got literally 6 months of the year of us from script to edit to film. If it's on Netflix, if it's into the theaters, whatever it is, right? They get it in there.
But now they can do it in 2 weeks.
Now they can do it almost instantaneously, basically, right? And if everyone can do it instantaneously, right? Let's just say a week. Within a week's time, you can have a full-length feature film, fully done beautifully, fully voiced over, fully everything, okay? Now the distribution model, okay? Now I can just put it on YouTube, right? You can do that now, but you have to film the stuff. You have to put money into it to film the stuff to make your money back. So you would want to get an investor to make your money back, or you're going to charge to watch it so you can get your money back, or you have advertisers, or you have product placement or stuff like anything like that, right?
Yep.
You're not getting any of that anymore because now there's 37 people watching us right now, and 37 people can make full-length feature films themselves, and 37 people can put that on YouTube, and they don't have to spend any money because they're just,
fucking around.
Just put it out there, okay? Which you can do with YouTube now, but there is your time being put in. There's no time here.
But the longer it's out, the more people understand how to use it, and then everyone will start using it who's interested.
Right. I think there's just going to be so much that it's basically you're never going to be seen. You're never going to be heard. You're going to hear about the one person that made it because they know somebody and someone pushed it to the front and be like, someone made a whole 2-hour movie. Oh, it's good. And then someone else is like, well, I'm going to do that. And they're going to constantly compete, but there's going to be so much content. There's so much content right now on YouTube. Imagine if everyone's making a fucking full-length feature film and no one can see any of it because there's not enough time in a day.
Well, but that's what it comes down to, because whereas before it was a profession that people had to learn to do, and in that profession you have a series of people that are working in conjunction to make that product into reality.
Right.
Now I don't need any of those people to make that product into reality. I'm just doing it myself. Now, if you have 10 or 20,000 people who really love filmmaking and study really hard how to use Flow and Chat GPT well, then all of a sudden you've got so many types of content to watch that the value of the content goes down because there's so much of it. Because you're not going to pay anybody to watch commercials on something because not enough people are watching it. So how do you charge anybody? It's almost like the Twitch problem now of people paying for ads that no one's watching.
Another thing is about the art itself, right? Like someone that's a director or cinematographer is making the tone of the film, like what it looks like, the blues, the yellows, the lighting, everything like that, right?
The crappiest it's ever been is right now, bro.
That person knows and studied light and color temperature, and they know what the scene needs and all this other stuff.
And what it looks like, the lighting that they
want
for that scene.
What it looks like within the camera, right? Within the camera with the lenses they use and all that stuff, right? Then you have the camera guy, okay? Like my job, I could tell you on a 50mm lens what the f-stop, what my depth of field would be. Like this is stuff that was a skilled trade and an art. And now you could just type in man running down street with a sunny day in the back, and it's gonna just do it for you, and you're just gonna look at it and go, yeah, it looks good.
You know what I'll tell you what I look at first. I think that the lawyers for Hollywood will defend them long enough, but I think what might be really cool is a subsect of people, instead of trying to make their own movies, what they do is they allow permission to like what they dream. They put the dream into flow, and you get to watch someone's dream.
The dream, right? Well, that's basically what split fiction was, right?
Right. You get to watch somebody's dream, and that becomes content. And so you get to see how people's minds actually. That's going to be fucking insane, bro.
Look,
you can type in anything you want, and it'll come up. You give ChatGPT and Flow enough information, it can come up with anything.
Yeah.
It's coming up with crazy stuff now. Like, for instance, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole here, but if I say demon, what kind of demon does it give me? Does it know what a demon looks like? And if so, where is it pulling demon from?
It would pull it from the internet based on all the different pictures and stuff.
Right. Yeah. From what, and then
so
mash them together. Mash them together.
Right. You could say I want a demon from I don't know. Who's a person that did Del Toro, right? You could be like, give me a demon from Del Toro's type of demon, and boom,
right? Because it would know who Del Toro is.
Correct.
Right. So you would get a mismatch, and if you're trying to make something from scratch, you would get a mismatch of all the demons that it ever saw, and it'll just mash them all together to come up with a demon of its own.
Well, even that, and you could be like, I would like to make this film look like a Martin Scorsese film. That's all you would have to do, and it would boom, because he's got that certain style.
Well, we're not saying it could do that right now, but eventually it'll know what a genre is, and it'll know what type of movie that is.
Sure,
right.
The music does that right now. The music AI songs that I use, some of them get marked. So like, let's say you want to use the Beastie Boys, it won't let you put Beastie Boys in, right? So you have to try to get around with other people that are maybe not as known like that sound like Beastie Boys, to get the music to be like, oh, okay, I know what this sounds like. So it tries to match what a Beastie Boys sound would sound like, right?
Right. You would have to use words that allow it to associate your words to that band.
Right. Because right now, musicians are already marking stuff on these music sites. Like if you put Taylor Swift, it says, no, sorry, can't make a Taylor Swift song because she's making sure that you can't copy her. You know what I mean? So you could go around it. You could put like singer-songwriter, okay? And it knows, so if I type in female singer-songwriter, it's going to go, oh, okay, well, female singer-songwriters, it's scouring the internet from all single sound writers, and then it comes out. That's how 7 out of 10 was made, right? It sounds like that Taylor Swift is singing it because that's what I was trying to go for. I'm not a musician, right? Actually, I am a musician. I play trumpet and saxophone, but I'm not a composer, right? I'm not a person that's mixing and doing all these things. I'm not doing any of that. I'm typing in words, and I'm actually saying the words, but it's taking it and turning it into a music format, and it's taking the beats and the music. It's doing all that stuff. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not going to call myself a composer. Okay. I'm making AI songs for fun, and I would never, ever call myself a musician of that caliber, because I'm not doing anything. I'm just putting words on in the computer, and the computer's taking the words and making it into a song. All right, let's go with the questions here. Shut the banner off. First question. We got Travis says, for Sarge, did anything in Warhammer 40K show today interest you?
Didn't see it yet. Was it a developer thing, or was it a Xbox thing?
I think it was just showed the I think it was a trailer for just showing the new game mode that was coming.
Oh,
which is the Horde mode, I believe.
I'll take a look at it.
Travis, second question says, question for either of you. Do you have anything that you would like to see a Summer Game Fest or just games? Just games. I don't have any
I
particular
want to
thing
see.
I want to see.
I want to see more independent people. I want to see what they've been working on.
Aku, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. It says, I played Star Citizen, therefore I am an astronaut. Waterbear says, do you feel like Sony is desperate enough to allow Concord to release in its current state? You mean, do you mean, do you mean Marathon? Even though at this point it's certified to flop. You mean Marathon, right? Did you mean to say Concord, or were you trying to be funny to say Concord 2.0?
And I think he meant to say certified fresh.
Water also says, do you feel, well, actually, let us answer that. I feel like your other question, I feel like they're going to release it regardless. It to them, it might be a flop, but I think there's enough people that want an extraction, that want something new, and they like Bungie, that they're going to give it a shot, and they'll make tens of dollars from it. They'll make tens of dollars from it. I think it will be a flop, but I think they're going to release it anyway and then try to make it better as they go over time. Next one is, do you feel like Flow will allow for new ideas to shine from those that don't really have the equipment but do have the ideas? Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm not talking down on the actual technology, Water. I'm just saying that if someone comes in and thinks they're a filmmaker because they typed one line of dialogue, that's not a filmmaker, right? You can make a movie, but you're not a filmmaker, right? I can draw stick figures. Am I an artist? I don't think so.
To a
right?
10-year-old, you are.
Well, sure. Okay. I could also do this, right? Does that make me a magician? I mean, I don't know. So there's lots of different things. I think it's perfect because I've always joked about making the Star Wars Luke Skywalker in a dream state where 7, 8, and 9 are just a nightmare. And I would love to do a short film of that. Well, this would let me do that, right?
For sure.
This would let me do that. What do you think, Sarge?
Oh, no, I agree with that for sure. It's definitely going to allow more people to be able to express themselves and be noticed, as opposed to people never knowing your screenwriting ability or not. But the ability to turn a screenwrite into an actual film or an actual digital rendition of your screenwrite is going to be fucking amazing.
I also think this is another good point that you could use this for, like it is a storyboard. Okay. So if I'm a writer and I really want to get my piece out there, I could bring my book to life, right? I'm an author and I could take that book, put it out there, and then you could pitch that. You could pitch that to the studios, and the studios saw your movie that you've created.
We don't have a word for it yet, but yeah.
Yeah, your movie that you created, it's basically a storyboard, but it's motion picture. So it's a preview like Marvel uses. You could pitch that and make money from that, because then you could be like, you know what, this character that I thought in my head is Brad Pitt, and I want Brad Pitt to play that part and stuff like that. And this might be a way of Hollywood to find stories that they would never have read, now see on the screen, and they go, you know what, we can make this, and we would love to put this underneath Fox. Because what's going to happen at that point is that I would think that studios would find their new directors or find their new writers, or they would find their new things. But again, if it's seen, because you could put something in and know that it's AI created, or if it's really created, I think the people that actually do each scene, and like Sarge was saying earlier, that can really type out and make the scene, like if someone's typing in, I want a wide shot,
like if once ChatGPT and Flow have a very well comprehension of the English language or language in general, somebody who's a wordsmith, who's able to specifically type in the words needed for ChatGPT to do exactly what it wants, is going to be the winner.
I think someone like that would be considered a filmmaker, because they're doing the work. They're putting in, if I want a shot and say a medium shot with a 50mm lens with an f2 stop on it, I want to simulate a Panavision camera and do all of this stuff, and they're setting up this whole shot. Cool. But 99.9% of the people, ChatGPT, copy pasta into this program, Flow puts it out, and they go, oh my God, I just made a movie. I just made a motion picture. Look what I did. Yeah, that's not a filmmaker. The person doing the work and learning flow, learning how to use ChatGPT to make the scenes. Like, I'm learning to customize the songs in the way I want, with background noises and talent and when the drums come in and all this other stuff, but I'm still not making the music, right? It's just taking the dialogue that I'm putting in front of it and then turning it into that. Next one. Does the voice of James Earl Jones also found from Mufasa? Fine, if you're trying to ask. It all depends on what the circumstances are, right? This is a video game of a Darth Vader following you around in a battle royale Fortnite game. If it's a feature-length film and they want to use Darth Vader's voice and they have to go through it, I mean, I guess that would be different parameters. If Mufasa's going around in Fortnite and he's your companion, he can eat someone's face, then maybe it would be okay. I mean, I don't know. I guess it would be very specific on what part and what avenue they're using the voice in. What do you think, Sarge?
I think I stand by the alive and dead scenario with the second.
Well, he's the voice of Mufasa, so he's dead.
No, I know, but we're not given permission.
Right. Like in his will, what did he say? You give my voice to Mufasa?
Or whoever's in charge, in charge of the state.
Right. Travis says, do you think it will become an argument now where all AI will argue for itself?
It would be actually interesting to see two AIs debate and try to prove each other right or wrong. I think that's going to be insane.
I think it'd be really weird and cool at the same time if you gave your one line of dialogue, make a sci-fi thriller with Bill Paxton, okay? And you put that into ChatGPT, you put that into Copilot, you put that into Gronk, and then you get scripts. And you take those scripts from those three programs and you throw it into Flow and see how close it gets, because they're all basing their research off the internet itself, right? So they're all pulling from the same things. So it'd be very interesting to test and see how that would work out with the AI.
I think the intellectuals would like to watch two AIs that have all the knowledge of knowledge of man in their data banks debate on a topic, and they both know everything, to see who would win the debate.
That would be interesting,
because a debate between human beings always comes down to the amount of information you know and how you can prove the point of what you're trying to
convey. They know everything.
But if they know everything, to see who would win would be pretty insane.
Next one is, who do you think will be the next AI character in Fortnite after Vader, who thinks the sequel trilogy doesn't exist? Are you talking about like a companion that runs around and talks to you? Like, who would be the next one? How about, it's got to be someone iconic. What about like Optimus Prime? Optimus Prime runs around and
well, is it Peter Weller?
Yeah.
Or no, Weller is Megatron.
No, it's
the other guy. He's still alive. He's
not
not
both
doing
alive.
He's not doing well, but he's still alive.
It is Peter, isn't it?
I think Peter Weller is. I thought Peter Weller was Megatron. I get them confused sometimes.
No, that is, yeah, you're right. Peter is Megatron.
It's the other guy. I'm drawing a blank, but he's Optimus Prime.
Waterbird says, who would win in a fight? 100 Helldivers versus Doomslayer?
Well, in the old Doom game, it would be the Doomslayer. In the current one, I think the Helldivers would kick his ass.
Altered says, do you believe AI can do better CGI on Marvel movies than the people that have hired right now? Yes. 100%.
Yes.
I've seen some crazy shit from AI. 100%. Altered says, ready to fight for democracy on Helldivers 2? Yeah, maybe next week we'll throw it in and shoot into shit with Sarge. We'll see. I'm ready. Are you ready for democracy, Sarge?
I mean, I have to learn the game first.
Krebsy says, has USB Randy comments on Borderlands 4 being $80. And if you're a real fan, you'll find a way, make you want to buy Borderlands 4 like we did with Borderlands 3. We were literally just talking about this before the show.
Go ahead,
Sarge.
Let's just put it this way. Every time Randy Pitchford opens his mouth, I don't want to play his game anymore. Like, I just started getting back into Borderlands 3 and starting to like it again. like I want to play it, and then I read the story about this nonsense of what he said again, and like now I'm disgusted. I don't even want to play the fucking game anymore because the minute he opens his mouth, like get rid of this cocksucker. Like he is the worst marketing guy for a video game ever. He cannot keep his mouth shut. Like, let the game be the game, Randy. Just shut the fuck up. Right? The minute you open your mouth, I'm not even interested in the goddamn game anymore.
Yeah. So playing the game, I was enjoying the game. I played through the main campaign. We played through the first DLC. I don't agree with what they did with the game, so I was kind of losing interest in the game because it was just kind of boring. I had like a really cool gun and nothing seemed like it's kind of broke, right? It was like I put a cheat code in and I didn't really feel because legendaries are dropping left and right. And then he talks and opens his mouth and I'm like, yeah, I don't need to play this game. I'm definitely not paying $80. I'm not paying $80 for Borderlands 4. I waited 5 years to play Borderlands 3 and I'm playing it on Game Pass. I got so many games to play. Not even him saying it's $80 and like go find a way if you're a real fan. The real fan part's what what irked me. Okay, like fuck you. Who are you to tell me if I'm a real fan or not a real fan? Because when you were a kid and you had to ride your bike to the ice cream shop to get the money to get the thing that you wanted to buy, you're a real fan. Like, what are we fucking talking about?
Can we just catch him? Can we just catch him with the pedo shit and just get rid of this guy once and for all with his child porn?
We don't have to get rid of him. I just don't have to purchase.
Just get rid of this fucking guy. It's a joke at this point. I've never seen someone tank his own fucking IP, and he does it religiously. Like he's getting paid to do it. Hey, Randy, why don't you come on out? I want you to destroy the game again. Come on out.
All he had to say was when someone said, hey, I hope you're not charging $80, he'd be like, I don't have anything to do with the pricing. You know, we'll see what happens. Not, well, if you're a real fan, you'll go out and buy it and get a job. Maybe you'll sell your car if you really want to, you know, like what are we talking about? You know, it was just, he took it just a little too far.
He can't help himself. His personality has been on the open for now years. We know the kind of person he is. He's garbage. He's a garbage human. He can't help himself. It's just who he is.
Mo says Randy is the reason that Microsoft passed on Gearbox. Well, that makes sense. I'll be honest with you. You saw him when he was doing the behind the scenes of Borderlands, the movie. Even the movie crew didn't want him there.
I mean, how toxic are you when you're part of the IP that no one likes you?
Altered says, "Are you a musician thanks to your AI song?" No, I'm not. But I am a musician. I played trumpet and saxophone for close to 20 years. So at one point, yes, I was a musician. Am I a musician now? If I picked it back up, I could be. But me making the songs and AI, no. No, I'm not a musician. Travis says, do you think it will really make a difference? Will the normal people say AI, ooh, no watch, or will it just be meh, who cares, just entertain me? My problem is not if you like it or not, if it's real or fake. That's not my issue with the thing. My issue is people that are copying pasta. I'm very specific here. People that are doing copy pasta where they're not doing a fucking thing, calling themselves a filmmaker. That's my issue. All right. I have no issue with people that are actually trying to make movies and use a tool to make a film. But I think as a person that just watches movies, why would you care if it's AI or animated or real live action? You're not going to care as long as you're being entertained. They're doing your job. What about you, Sarge? Do you think that's as long as it's being entertained or just meh?
I mean, I'll just go with the meh. Like, it's too much, man. It's too much bullshit. Do it right or don't do it.
All right, the last question. Both of you, Travis says, both of you think that GTA being delayed is a good thing for both like since the year doesn't need it and delayed, or if it makes sure that it doesn't come out buggy and other games come out and enjoy. I don't think they needed more time. I don't. I think they pushed it back because the industry needs it to push back. Because I already said this a couple weeks ago. I think because of the price hike of the tariffs and the price hike of video games going to $80, they want to stay clear of that and let us condition us for that price. And if you're paying $80 for Borderlands and you're paying $80 for Yote and you're paying $80 for the next whatever game comes out, by the time GTA comes out and says,
No
well,
problem.
this is $80, not a problem.
Not a
Or
problem.
if they say $100, you're going to be like, all right, well, I played these for 80, so this is worth 100. I think that's why they did it. It's a console seller. I think that they know that the sales this year are going to be A-okay for what's coming out, and they need that game to come into the 6th year of the consoles because that'll push more game sales, especially if the consoles are going to be $150 more in price, right? That's why I think they're doing it.
Yeah,
I think they all work together as a team within the industry.
Yeah, and I also think that if you told me as a company that if I waited 1 year to make 30% more revenue, would you do it? The answer would be yes.
Right.
Right? Because there's no question now that when GTA comes out next year, that's going to be a higher priced game. Where if it came out now, there'd have been a lot of controversy.
Right.
If you wait a year and the game comes out as a $100 game or $90 game, and they get to polish it and do whatever else they want with it, now you made 30% more revenue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think everyone thinks there's a team, and the team is them versus us. Not
Corpo versus gamer.
Yeah, Corpo versus gamer. It's not.
Matter of fact, that should be the name of a good game that should come out. Corpo versus gamer.
Yeah. That's the way I believe. Corpo, where Sergeant said, versus gamer. It's not Sony versus Microsoft versus Nintendo. It's them versus us.
Always.
How do they get our money out of our pockets for the least amount of least amount of effort? Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for episode 441 of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. If you guys like to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. If you're over on Twitch, hit that follow button. You can also use your Twitch Prime sub over here. We stream over on Twitch on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, and Thursday nights. So 4 nights a week over on Twitch. Gameplay Monday through Wednesday. And then Thursday night's the podcast. And over on YouTube, we do a morning show. If you like the morning show and you're over on Twitch, or if you're watching this after the fact, we do a morning show from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern called The Daily Grind, Monday through Thursday. So that's fun. Come on by. We do a couple of news stories, and chat is 1,000% part of the conversation and whatnot throughout the day. So make sure you go check that out as well. You can always watch our past broadcasts as well, or listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or Anchor.fm. We appreciate you very much, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Peace.
Game on, guys.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips.